Is that a word search? That's awesome. All right, welcome to the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast, episode 208. I'm your host, Jeremy Powers, and joining me this week, we have Steven.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Chase.
Hello.
And Chris.
Happy unbirthday.
Hopefully I'm not messing up anyone's plans tonight for recording today. Amanda and I just never really bother with Valentine's Day, so I never think about it. But yeah, we could have rescheduled. Who knows? It's already past Valentine's Day for you down there, isn't it, Chase? It's already tomorrow, so.
Yeah, it's already the 15th.
I think the only one I'm putting in danger for potential stuff is Steven, so.
No, I already got my Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Nice. So. All right, well, this week we are talking mostly about the Sony State of Play that's occurred, a couple of things in the speedrun, and then we'll talk about the big question. But before we get into all that, let's jump into what we've been doing. And to start us off, Chris, let me ask you this time, what you been up to, man?
Well, someone got me Octopath Traveler 2 for my birthday, so I've been screwing around with that.
Nice.
I enjoyed the first one, so the second one is a nice true to form, getting back to that. I also played the demo for Scott Pilgrim EX, which I thought was some kind of remaster, but it's a sequel, and it's really nicely done.
Oh, good to hear.
I'm very impressed with it so far. So that's definitely on my list. And there's a game that I found completely by chance called ZPF, which is, if anybody here has played Gate of Thunder or Lords of Thunder for the Turbo Duo, it has that look, only over a Grateful Dead filter. Everything is incredibly psychedelic and under, like, blacklight.
Trippy.
It's cool. Right now, it's only available as a Mega Drive / Sega Genesis Repro cartridge or on Steam, but I'm hoping it'll do well enough to be on other stuff in the future.
That would be nice. All right, Steven, what about you? What you been doing?
Believe it or not, I've still been doing my mobile game adventures up until go time for the podcast. I only have the 2 games left to earn stuff for. I've decided one game when I finish, I'm going to get a Steam gift card so I can get Demio. That way you guys can cheer me on to beat the game so I can get a Steam gift card and do that. And then I have to play ZZZ as much as I can with all these other games coming out.
It's a legal requirement with you.
Did unlock the new character, so that's good. Don't have to worry about that one. It came in pretty quickly without having to spend any money. So the money goes to the mobile games instead. Doing that with Chase last weekend, we unfortunately powered through what I'd like to call Whack Ops 7, where you do everything from fighting giants that are as big as the screen, shooting it with rockets while it does like ground pounds, and then the things we fought, even for like the last boss, I just felt like we were playing some kind of like space game. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know why we were doing what we were doing. It looked like we were in an alternate dimension. It looked like something straight out of Duke Nukem, and I was just like, I'm so confused.
It makes it sound like the zombie mode from like Black Ops 6 or the other ones is more realistic than this.
No, this game is basically straight ripped from the zombies mode.
And then they throw in an ending. I'm going to say that loosely, an ending. And then they just throw you into Fortnite mode. They're like, here, fight with a bunch of other people. And I was just like, I don't want to.
No, you didn't fight with a bunch of other people. You fight with CPUs, but it was dumb. Like,
I thought those were real people. I wasn't sure. But we did see when we were trying to play, even though when you don't have a full squad of 4 people, apparently it's 4-player co-op. But if you don't have a full squad, you can say, please don't fill the squad so it won't look for other players. That's why you can't pause, because it creates a lobby and then creates an online session for the campaign. And for some reason, when we were playing through it, Chase and I would see people's gamer tags on the right. And I'm like, I think they're talking, but I'm glad we can't hear them. But why are they talking in our game?
It's very weird. Put into a chat room regardless? I don't know.
Yeah.
I've avoided this game like the plague.
Then I played God of War: Son of Sparta because they decided to release it, day of, and it was Mega Cat Studios who also did Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit, so I knew it was a really good pixel art and pixel animation. So yeah, I didn't know it was co-op, but it's not really co-op. It's just versus mode if you beat the game, Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that later on. It has a co-op for the challenge mode, but yeah, you got to finish the game first, and none of it's online. It's local only.
But if you look up the voice cast, it's pretty interesting because other than the obvious T.C. Carson, they had the voice of Robin as your brother, Deimos. Definitely tell it's Robin from Teen Titans. And surprisingly, one of the characters in the town is Jack Quaid.
Oh, nice.
Because I was like, I know that voice.
I just want a Boimler scream then. Just somewhere.
And then lastly, Christian had a nice laugh because I played Tokyo Scramble, all $30 of it.
Oh, God.
It's basically kind of, remember those Xbox Live Arcade games that would just get released and you're like, this looks interesting.
Yeah.
It's like that. The graphics are worse than a PS3, I would say, or about maybe on par sometimes. It's very buggy. What I thought was going to be like Dinosaur Clock Tower is more like if you had some kind of stealth game, but it was done in levels. That each level is just like a challenge. You get past that level, you do the next one. So there's 22 levels. That's it. There isn't anything to collect. The story is very thrown together, unpolished. He had a laugh because once you get spotted, you're pretty much dead.
Oh, God.
It is very unforgiving in that aspect. It's hard to get away.
It looked like some of the stuff they were showing, like you would have to be seen to get them to come at you to set off traps or something.
No, that one you just have to wait until they walk to a certain area, and you can do things like make a vending machine go off, and then they get distracted. And I did that in front of Christian when I was about to get eaten, and it was like, oh, vending machine. So it wanted to look at the vending machine instead of eat me. There's escalators you can put on high speed, and then the dinosaurs Xenosaurs will use them like treadmills. They'll never get off of it. They'll get stuck on it like a treadmill forever. That's why I said it's kind of like a puzzle stealth game.
The best part was when you went up to the top of an escalator thinking, okay, now I'm going to hit the vending machine, the app to make the escalator go down, and the dinosaur can't catch me. He presses the app, and the character moves down the escalator and into the dinosaur's mouth. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that should be a clip.
And so, yeah, the game share that's both offline and online makes it so player 1 controls movement, player 2 controls the camera, player 3 controls the apps on the phone, like basically like the actions, and player 4 controls dash and crouch.
That sounds horrible.
It's supposed to. It's from what I was reading.
Sounds horrible.
You shut your mouth. I paid $30 for it. I'm going to get my $30 out of it.
But we all make bad choices, okay?
Yeah.
But overall,
it's like bad Voltron with everyone trying to control the same thing.
Overall, though, everybody's experience says like that mode's hilarious for like 5 minutes, and then it sucks.
Yeah,
there's
like the
good
game.
things to be had in the game when you're using the traps. I guess it looked better. They were smart to release this game one day before Mario Tennis.
Nice.
It feels like a school project. Honestly.
Ouch.
Which is weird because this is the same developers that made Ender Lilies and Ender Magnolia, which are beautiful games that are Metroidvanias. So when I looked at that, I said, okay, I feel like I'm in a safe place because it's not like the rest of their games are asset flips or anything garbagey. I was like, I think we're good.
Well,
everybody has an off day.
Yeah.
What at all about this game made you think, oh yeah, I'm in a safe place? The game looks ass from the get-go.
Because a game can sometimes look bad, but play really well.
That's true. And the opposite is also just as true. It can look amazing and play like shit.
I was wrong. It plays okay.
And looks terrible.
It's not worth $30 at all. It's worth 10 to 15 maybe.
I'm glad you took that bullet for us. You could have bought Demio and we could be playing that right now, but whatever.
No, Demio's on hold because I bought Tokyo Scramble.
You could get fucked.
You guys keep talking about Demio. He's going to keep putting it off.
No, he's just waiting for me to break down and just buy the damn thing for him.
Or if I finish my mobile game, I'll get it right away.
Yeah, but you have to stop playing the mobile game to play the other game.
Well, I can play the mobile game in bed, so that's fine.
Fair enough. All right, Chase, what about you? What you been up to?
So I finished Doom 3.
Nice.
Really, really enjoyed it, actually. Surprisingly longer game than I thought it was going to be. Like, it's not a short game by any stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every time that I would, like, feel like I'm getting towards, like, the end, and all of a sudden I'd be like, Marine, we need you to go and do this now. And I'm just like, okay, fine, fuck.
Yeah, there's a lot of missions about that. There are some needy people there.
Oh, well, to be fair, though, it was like, the other part of me, too, that was like, how is it that, like, I just showed up, and I'm, like, the only useful motherfucker on this entire planet? Like...
Yeah, it's the Leon Kennedy.
Yeah,
like
you're gonna tell me.
City.
You're gonna tell me that like somehow like every other Marine is like utterly fucking useless. But
Isn't
like
that the case for most of these games?
Oh yeah, it's kind of a trope thing that does kind of annoy me a little. It's like, man, somehow like everybody's like so incompetent. Like I literally watched a cutscene where like 3 Marines, I think it was Bravo Squad, I'm supposed to meet up with them. And they literally got all offed by 1 imp. And I've, like, murdered 500 on my way here. Just, like, sometimes.
You want to talk about that? You want to talk about that trope? Speaking of Tokyo Scramble again, sorry, everyone.
Uh-oh.
He's got to get his money's worth.
Your character is the only one that fell underground and is dealing with the dinosaurs. Everybody else is just like, oh... some explosions happened. I wonder what happened. One guy's like, I slept in, so I'm feeling great. How are you doing? And she's like, I'm in hell. And he's just like, that sucked. You can do it. So they're all fine. All your friends are fine. They're above ground. No dinosaurs. And they're saying, I hope you make it out, but I think you will. And you're just like, I'm in hell.
If there was anyone else down there, I guarantee there'd be a mode or something where you could just be like, push the person down and let them get eaten while you run away.
Oh, that's the answer. They're already food. That's why you're the only one there.
And he keeps making jokes, and I was like, you're the only one down here. Are you trying to make yourself feel better?
Psychosis happens to the best of us.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Really, really enjoyed it. I'll probably do the Resurrection of Evil next.
I was about to ask you if you, when you said you finished, if you meant just the main campaign or if you'd gone into that one. So
no, it was the main campaign. I was going to play the original version, but I ended up choosing to actually play the BFG edition just because it had controller support.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Like it's interesting to go back and just like mess with a couple levels in the original design when you have to play where you don't have a flashlight, where you have to choose between them just to be like, oh, that's kind of neat. And then go back to the one that we should have had the whole time and just live with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely, I could definitely see, because one of the YouTubers that Steven and I really like, he advocated actually for the originals better than the BFG edition. But his reasoning for that was he said the whole reason why they had it to where you swap to the flashlight was to have like these tension moments where like something will jump out at you and then you have to switch on the fly, things like that. And he said you kind of lose that in the BFG edition. Like there's actually an entire segment of a level where a guy's carrying a lantern, and he's like, that whole segment's actually kind of useless because of the shoulder mounted flashlight. The other thing that he said too, and I definitely agreed with this part, is because at one point, like after getting the submachine gun, I literally had 600 rounds for it after like a few minutes. And so I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to have this much ammo in like a survival horror game already. But
yeah,
I mean,
the clock definitely makes it interesting because it's the shine the light over here, shine the light over there.
Yeah.
And the person with no gun is going in front.
There's pluses and minuses to both ways to play it, and I like the fact that they are all still available. It's not like they completely superseded everything. So,
yeah, but so yeah, I'll do the Resurrection of Evil next, and then I think the BFG edition you also have Lost Missions, so I'll probably do that as well. And then, but other than Doom 3, continuing to play Menace, which I'm really enjoying. It's in early access. I finally hired a few more squads, and I've actually gotten like more like equipment now to actually equip my squads with, which is nice. And then, like Swan said earlier, we finally finished Black Ops 7, as we dubbed it. Yeah, so the thing that Swan didn't mention that I kind of said already, but when you said, Jeremy, about the zombies mode, it's literally like half your enemies are the zombies. Like even spiders and like some of your enemies just are like literal, they just have the same animations as the zombie characters, like in the zombies mode. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. Like I was just like, what the fuck? There's a few times where I said
terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But like there was a few times where I said to Swan, I'm like, are we playing a Call of Duty game? And he's like, I don't know. I actually have no idea.
All those different abilities we kept getting, like you can jump higher, you can teleport forward, you can revive everybody in a radius and stuff like that. I was like, why do we have powers? Am I playing Overwatch?
Yeah.
Who knows?
No, it's just, yeah, it's definitely like a...
And it
definitely an experience.
Randomized who gets to be who. Last time I was the main character. This time, even though I was still the host, it made Chase the main character. And I was like, okay.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Normally, you get to at least choose who's who when you're playing.
Yeah,
this
one was like, nope. I was like, all right.
Yeah, we fought a giant version of whoever the actor is that.
What happens, y'all?
Like, yeah, that guy.
Oh God!
I was just like, okay. Like, I don't know. It's just such a
Guardians of the Galaxy. The whole trilogy was less weird than Black Ops.
Yeah, that's true.
Jesus. All right. Well, for my stuff, I've been continuing messing with my 3D printers. As you saw in the beginning, I've been messing with the multicolor for layers. I ended up doing these earlier today, both the Autobot and Decepticon logo, which that's the first time using that purple. I like how the metal turned out. But I think these both look good. I've been printing all kinds of crap, a bunch of ridiculous things, and then a lot of actual useful stuff. Like I've got controller stands for a bunch of things. I did one that was actually made for one of my 8BitDo arcade sticks, which is great because now because those things, arcade sticks are so awkward to set somewhere. You can't put anything on top of them or they get, they take up a whole space. Now it actually stands up kind of vertically and I can layer them with other stuff, which is good. All my controllers I've been laying in front of the entertainment center now that they've got stands, so I can just pick up the controller I want to use, which my 8BitDo N64 controller finally came in, which has led me to playing a bunch of Gauntlet Legends. Now that I can actually play that and use the virtual memory cards. So with that thing, it turns out you can only use the virtual memory cards if you're using a controller that does not have a memory card slot. Because I thought I had to get the 8BitDo controller to come in to access it because Analog Zone support people told me that. But when they enabled you to use the NSO N64 controllers, all of a sudden it worked. Like you could use it with that because it doesn't have a slot either. So it's kind of an interesting little fact with that. But yeah, at least now it works and it's still playing really well. So I caught myself kind of playing that for a night after I got back. I've been traveling a bunch. Like I was in Texas last week. I'm going to be over in New Jersey next week. And then after that, I'm coming back, going out west again. So I'm still doing the show, but I'm going to be missing during the week for everything. I started like playing. I randomly decided to start playing Hades 2. I was messing with some of the cartridges I had in my case. And I'd played it when I first got it. And it didn't really click. Like I was kind of enjoying it, but just didn't go with it. And all of a sudden now I've started unlocking things and weapons. And, I don't know if you guys have played that one yet or not, but it's really, really good.
I need to play one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't finished one.
Hades is on my list.
Hades 2 is great on the Switch too. Like it plays wonderfully on there. I've gotten through the first area, beat Hecate, and then gotten into the underwater area and kind of working through that. And as I'm farming for more stuff, because I think that's part of what I'm enjoying is normally with these games, you go through, you die, you come back, and it's so repetitive, you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. And that's what usually kind of kills my interest in them sometimes. This one, I can at least start collecting items as I go, and I'm making some kind of progress. I'm like unlocking little things or being able to do potions or something. So I feel like I'm still having some progress, even if I'm not making it all the way through this stuff yet, which is a nice change. The voice acting is absolutely phenomenal, as well as the music. There's parts of it where you can go in and you'll see some of the other gods that are there, and they're kind of singing, and you can have your character join in, and they'll just sit there and sing, and it's so well done. I just sat the controller down and just let them sing for a while I'm doing other stuff. It just sounded so good.
Nice.
So, yeah. Definitely worth playing that. The other game I've been playing, and I've only done a little bit of it, but I picked up Mario Tennis Fever. I played through the opening, went through that. I have to say, this is an absolutely gorgeous tennis game. Like, they really outdid themselves for how the title actually looks, which is good. But you go through the training part in the beginning, fight, learn how to play tennis, beat the person, and that opens up the menu and starts the story, which I'm beginning now. So I've only had a little bit of time to play it. Hopefully by next time I'll have a little bit more into it. But it controls really well, looks good. I'm trying to find some other people to play multiplayer with, because I want to see how the online works, because it's kind of make it or break it for the tennis games, or a lot of them are the Nintendo sports titles, of how they work. But I'm hopeful.
It's got a match up tomorrow, Tennis 64.
That is a good one, yes. And I'm trying to remember, is that one on? That's not on the NSO yet, is it?
I don't think so.
I think one of the tennises was. I don't remember which one.
I know golf is, I think.
Yeah, I think golf was. Golf's also really good. But yeah, I'm liking how the controls work. It's got a motion control thing you can mess with, and I was like, I might try it for fun, but I'm just going to stick to the sticks and buttons for most of it. It's just faster. I like the fact when you do some of the special attacks, though, with it, if you can hit it back before it hits the ground, you can throw it back at the other person, and they have to deal with it. So even if you do a super move, they could just lob it back to you, and then you're dealing with what you just shot at them, which can work both ways. So it's not a guarantee like, oh, this super powerful thing is going to make it. So kind of like that. And then lastly, I did finally break down and order the Virtual Boy shell, which we're supposed to get the Nintendo Switch Online stuff for that later this month. So I'm waiting for it.
And it's compatible with all Switch 1 VR games.
Yeah. Apparently this is a better way to play them because you get better resolution and frame rate on it, but I'll have to see how that works.
And apparently the back piece is different, so you can't really necessarily use it for parts with your real Virtual Boy, but the stand is the same, so you can do that.
Yeah, the stand is the only part, which kind of makes sense. They kind of resized it a bit, but I don't know. I kind of wish they had made a Virtual Boy controller. Like if they'd included that with the headset, that would have been worth $100. Instead, it's just me being irresponsible with money and buying this thing for $100. Sorry, 110 and some change after shipping and taxes.
My shipping was free because it was over $60.
Actually, mine, yeah, I guess my shipping was free on that as well. It still came out to like one something.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah. For something that doesn't actually work and still requires me to pay a fee to be able to use it, it's ridiculous. Whatever, I did it. I'm an idiot. I just want to play more Virtual Boy because they got me with the fact there's going to be 2 games that were not released before, and I'm hoping they have more of them that they can do that with, because that'll be interesting. But speaking of games we want to play, let's jump over to the group chat so we can talk about what our pickups have been. So, Steven, I know you were showing us some stuff earlier. We'll start with you on any pickups you've had this week.
So I had a coupon from my local bookstore, Half Price Books, which, at least for finding stuff, I recommend, but some of their prices always cross-reference to make sure you're getting actual half price. But some of these caught my eye because they were online, and you could ship them to the store. First one was Nintendo NES Classic Games Word Search. What this is if you pay somebody $20 to take horrible pictures of box art, make a word search with who knows. I'm not going to blame AI yet because maybe it's too old. But inside are just horribly cropped box arts.
Oh, that is stretched so terribly sideways.
And then just like a quick word search. It's a funny thing to have. Then I bought this game for Saturn called Quo Vadis 2.
Oh, wow.
Because it was on sale. It's a mech game, so I'll never play it. It's just going to rot in hell in my collection. But I got it because they said, the people who made Gundam and Macross, like the designers worked on it. And I was like, all right, it's got some merit. Whatever. Finally got my last 2 Animal Crossing cards, so I have the full set. They finally came in today.
Oh, for all the 4 or 5 series they did?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I picked up a few games. 2 of them are coming tomorrow. One of them I mentioned was that Painkiller game. Because a lot of
mine will
people
be here tomorrow too.
A lot of people seem to like it. Some YouTubers were playing it, and they were like, this is like co-op Doom. It's actually pretty fun, and it's saber, as Chase pointed out. But Woot had a sale, so I bought Hotel Barcelona for $15. So I now have this game to see how it is. It does have online co-op, but I'll see if it's more or less fun than Tokyo Scramble.
Guessing more.
I got Wu-Chang, Fallen Feathers.
Oh, yeah. There you go. That's peak right there.
So that was good. But then lastly, what I got, because the sale was just too good, and it was cheaper than the standard one, was from Best Buy, was Ninja Gaiden 4 Deluxe Edition.
Nice.
because it's on disc now. And the rest is just like DLC. And since I already started playing it through Game Pass, I was like, okay, I'll buy that one and have that to play it through. I might do that if I don't get assigned another game.
Yeah, I've only seen the original version of that. I'll have to look and see if I can find that edition, because that would be the better one to get.
Yeah, because what it was the with the sale, Best Buy was having the original one was 40, then the deluxe one with all the extra stuff was 42. So I was like,
oh, yeah,
I'll pay $3 for, what do they call it?
Anything else? That's
future gameplay content, and then the dark blue and black Ryu skins, and I was just like, the OG skins. I was like, okay, give me those.
Damn, I'd look that up. That's not bad at all. All right, so I already showed the Mario Tennis Fever, but that's the actual box for it. Colorful little one there. So I picked that up. While I was traveling out in Texas, I found a store and picked up a few games. I found another Transformers title I've been looking for. It's Dark of the Moon Decepticons edition for the DS. Because for the DS and 3DS, the Transformers games kept doing a Pokemon style where there's an Autobot and a Decepticons edition. And for each of these, there's always one that's harder to find than the others, just because whichever one was more popular with how they did the story. Picked up Burnout Revenge for the original Xbox, because apparently I didn't have this. I've got Burnout Revenge on 360, but I didn't have the original Xbox edition, which is still worth playing. It's actually got some kind of fun features to it as well, but I just love the Burnout games, so I try and get all of them. And then I got KC Munchkin for the Magnavox Odyssey 2.
Well, I played that on an old computer.
Well, yeah, because surprisingly, the store I found in Texas had a whole selection of Magnavox Odyssey 2 titles, both in box and out. So I was able to get a hold of Thunderball in the box with book and everything, which is a pinball game, because I'm still working on collecting all the pinball titles. But this is from 1979, so it's older than I am by at least a few months. I got to put the box kind of back together because the glue's worn out there, but it still included the full book for it and everything. So I was kind of glad to get this one because I just love the arts of it. Just that old 70s pinball style, getting all flashy for it. I guess before Atari went nuts with it. And then lastly, I picked up this because I had a friend of mine who I found out has not seen any of these movies. And kind of hurt to hear that. It's the 4K and Blu-ray set for Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, and The World's End. Which now I didn't have the 4K for any of these, so that includes it. I kind of double dipped on Shaun of the Dead, but Hot Fuzz I only had on HD DVD, which had DVD if you flip it over, but like that's in storage, and I'm just not dealing with that right now. So
the
I upgraded.
The most fun is once they've watched the whole trilogy, you can say, "Now do you know why it's called the Cornetto trilogy?"
Well, what got me is I make jokes about these movies all the time when I'm talking with people, especially like Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, and he wouldn't get them. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe he just doesn't think it's funny. And then I mentioned it, and he's like, yeah, I've never seen any of those. And I was like, oh no, we're changing this. You're coming over and watching movies. So I ordered this whole set just for that fact. So.
Yeah, Chase has got a little red on him.
Nice. Chase, you have anything you've picked up recently?
Nah, not for me.
Yes, you did. You said you picked up a sickness.
Yeah,
that's a whole different thing.
Not a pickup
Lord.
I was hoping for.
Yeah.
And Chris, you already talked about some of the stuff you got earlier.
It was free, but it wasn't a good deal.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'd rather have that than Tokyo Scramble, though.
Ouch.
You got stuff for your birthday.
Well, that's the same. He talked about it earlier, so he's kind of already mentioned some of it. I don't know if he wanted to talk about it more.
I got him shirts.
Yeah, you got him. You got me shirts.
Problem is we can't show them off. Because he has to
say,
That's
can
why
we see?
I don't mention things in the pickup.
One of them's a picture of Cthulhu, and it says, "I'm too tired to destroy." He's tired. And
perfect.
The other one has a really happy version of the Grim Reaper, and it says, "Life sucks, and then you die."
Jesus.
Yep.
What?
That's great.
I approve.
Yeah.
That's my general mentality, so there you go.
I will have to. I have one of the 3D models I can print for you. It's just like little chibi death. It's all smiling and happy, standing on a pile of skulls. I might just make one of those for you.
Nice.
See if they have, what's his name from Conquer?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure somebody had to have. That's a good one. I should look that up, though. All right. So, lastly, for this section, we'll check in about the progress on our assigned games, which I'll start off with that. So, for Star Control 2, the Urquan Masters, I got it to work on my laptop while I was traveling, and then realized I didn't bring a controller and tried to play with the keyboard. And no, I was going to wait till I get my controller. I did end up listening to some podcasts about this. Like Retronauts had a few episodes on it, including with the people that created it. They didn't give spoilers, but they kind of explained better of how the game is supposed to be played. Which was kind of nice because now whenever I finish the run I'm on now, I kind of have a better understanding that there is kind of a time limit, and I need to start taking better notes when people mention things. So I'm still having fun with it. It's definitely an interesting exploration of some very weird shit. So, all right. And I guess, Steven, you already finished Titanfall 2. So I guess you're waiting on something else to be assigned to you.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I gave you a couple of listings. I'll have to look and see.
Well, I did yours, and now I need something from either Chase or Christian to try.
Okay. Let's say we'll have to go back and look at what was suggested for everybody.
Yeah.
And then Chase, did you have any chance to mess with any of yours? I know you played Doom 3, which could have almost been one, but
yeah, if only you'd known. So I beat the second or third level of Time Splitters 2, the one that was set in 1930 Chicago.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one.
Yep. No, it was actually really fun. Didn't realize how satisfying like just blitzing a car that's driving by with a Tommy gun could be. When I took out that dude's brother, it was like, okay, this is. And then at some point you're dual wielding him, and I'm like, I think this defies the laws of physics, but who cares? It's just Time Splitters.
I've seen some old movies that used to do that with the people, holding two Tommy guns and just firing like crazy. So yeah, I think Bruce Willis did that in one of his movies.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying the game. I'm just taking it like level by level, but actually it's really fun.
Yeah, the time travel stuff, it does lead to different weird scenarios, which start getting mixed up, which is fun. Chris, did you have any time to mess with any of yours or finish any progress on Carrion? Or
I'm terrible at the both of them right now. Rogue Trader, I keep dying, and in Carrion, I have nowhere to go. So I'm just hanging back for a little bit and playing Octopath until I can get back into things. Rogue Trader is not my type of game normally, so there are a lot of commands and, things that I'm not used to. So that's something I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be stuck in the beginning of that one for some time. But
If you need any help, just let me know.
I'll poke you. So
yeah, all good.
And with Carrion, I still have that, nearly at the end of a Metroidvania problem where I can go anywhere except where I need to go. So we'll see what happens.
yeah, and the ending for that one, when you do finally get it, it's kind of sudden. It does end kind of quick, but once you find it, I think you'll just burn through it pretty quick. Go ahead, Steven.
I also wanted to mention, I forgot to say during the beginning, because I was trying to be nice. The demo for the Switch 2 version of Star Trek Voyager Into the Unknown is out on the eShop. It does not have mouse controls.
Oh,
it does not have voice acting. It does not have music.
Wait, what?
So I'm very confused, and it reminds you in the upper right, this is very early. Please be nice.
Yeah, it is. That should not have been released.
Yeah, that's weird because they had a whole thing where a couple of the actors specifically came back to record their lines. So Tom Paris and Tuvok and some of them are in the game all throughout it. So
the whole time
weird demo.
The whole time I played in front of Christian, it was silent. The only thing he would hear is maybe the whoosh when I would fly around the map or something.
It is very undercooked.
I was just this isn't a demo. This is an alpha.
Yeah, none of the characters were standing so bad they were almost T-posing. They weren't even reacting to when the ship was destroyed or anything like that.
Oh God!
It has potential, but for the power of the franchise, right now that demo is a letdown. So I hope it gets better.
Which is shocking. I haven't played the Switch 2 demo yet, but I messed around with the PC one and it seemed fine. I was enjoying it and it was not too bad, but yeah.
Try it, you'll be surprised. You'll be like, how far is this along?
This has got to be better than Star Trek Prodigy's game. That was bare bones. You could tell it was made for kids, Did
Prodigy have music in it?
Yes.
Then it's already a step ahead.
Shit.
It could be better. It's just that demo as is should not have been released.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm leaning back towards just getting this on PC then.
I'd say try the demo on Switch and see if there's any difference.
Because I was thinking about double dipping on it anyways. Because I thought if I get it on PC for the graphical fidelity and doing all the crazy shit, and then have Switch 2 as a portable version.
Yeah, and it's Daedalic Entertainment that published it, and usually they are good into the involved, but it's always a complete package. This one just seems like somebody opened it already.
Yeah,
but
maybe it's just a terrible demo, which is not good. But
that's what I'm thinking. That's
why sounds like a demo issue to me.
Yeah, you should try it.
Oh, I'm going to.
Because when Chase was talking about Rogue Trader, I was excited because there's a Switch 2 version of Rogue Trader, but everybody's avoid it like the plague. Everything is unoptimized and doesn't work right.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well, right now there's no physical edition for any of them, as far as I know, for this. So maybe I'll just wait, and if it gets improvements later and via updates, I'll pick it up. I'll just start with PC and go from there. But yeah, I'll try the demo and let you know what I think about it, because I really want this to do well. I love Star Trek games,
and it had a good publisher behind it. So I was just like Tokyo Scramble. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, don't compare it to Tokyo Scramble, man. I was curious, but you have squashed any curiosity of that. Don't kill my glimmer of hope of Star Trek.
And don't compare Star Trek to Tokyo Scramble. Don't compare anything to Tokyo Scramble.
I have to ask a very important question though.
Yes.
To a Trekkie.
Mm-hmm.
When when the red lights go off in the bridge, is it always the same sound or has it changed with the ships?
Red Alert, they've usually used similar sound effects. It's had some variants, but it's a pretty standard sound. Okay, like it's recognizable for what it is.
Yeah, nope. This one sounded like an ambulance crashing into a wall.
That is not how Voyager sounded. And like everything I've seen about this from trailers and stuff looked like they were getting like into the minutia and the details. And
because
that's why I was excited for it.
I looked at Chris and I was just like, where's my OG?
No, but that's TOS. Okay?
Yeah, that is definitely different. Yeah, TOS is different.
But I didn't get anything remotely close to it. I got a sound effect 43 from somebody's CD.
I'll have to listen to it and see because there's.
Well, that's why I was like,
there's a similarity.
To play the demo and tell me if at all what is proper.
Okay, because that's part of why I was so excited for this. I do have like an encyclopedic love and knowledge of Star Trek, especially next gen through Voyager and an Enterprise as the main part, and I've enjoyed a lot of the outside. I've kind of learned about it later on, but. Like I wanted to be able to explore and dive into that history and play around with it. And that was the whole idea of what I liked about this of like, oh, I remember getting to this point. This is what they did originally. Hey, let's try this and see what happens. Yeah. And like, that's my excitement for it.
Yeah. Let me know.
You put the fear of Switch 2 in me right now for that one.
It could still be good. Remember, Steve is not a Trekkie to the level that you are. So he might be missing something.
You don't have to be a Trekkie to tell if something's not running right, though.
For the first time I've ever had it, this one keeps it in the upper right, but it says like all of this is super early, and it leaves that message in the upper right the whole time saying, please be nice to us because this is a really early build. And I was like, why did you release it like this?
Yeah, that's my worry because it comes out this month. Like, I think like in a week or so.
I don't know.
Maybe they meant for the Switch. Maybe the Switch build is just that, and maybe the PC build is better.
I didn't think it was. I thought it was just Switch 2. I didn't think it had a Switch 1 build.
No, I meant PC or Switch.
I'll find out later.
We'll find out.
Best of luck.
Yeah, regardless, I will bite the bullet and buy this in one form or another, no matter what. I will have it, so we'll find out then. Jesus.
Default for Steam, I guess.
Yeah. Hopefully then maybe I can at least, if it runs well on a Steam Deck, maybe that could become my portable version. That'll give me another reason to carry it around. So we'll see. All right, let's get over to our, one bit of news for the PlayStation State of Play. All right, so PlayStation State of Play, first one, let's say this is the first one I think we've had in 2026. Or they had one in January, didn't they? Like a short one.
They had like a partner thing, but it was dumb.
Yeah. Some of the partner ones are questionable. But they did show a lot of stuff. Some good, some bad, some kind of questionable. But I wanted to at least go through a couple of them that I highlighted just out of curiosity. So the first one we saw was the Kina Scars of Kosmora coming out 2026 for PS5 and PC. So it's getting a dual release this time. I'm a little curious on this just because I got a hold of the first game. It looked intriguing, but I never really got around to playing it much. Chase, I think you said you've seen a little bit more of it because Shinobi was playing it some. And I think we all agree the game looks really good. Like it's surprisingly detailed. I like the design, the art design and stuff for it, but I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll see. So I think, what was it you said, Chase? It looked like it had that PlayStation money behind it now.
Yeah, well,
that Sony
game,
money.
Yeah, first game looked real sharp though. Just like it actually was a pretty decent game. Like, I don't think it's one of those games that it's just like it had a decent story and the gameplay loop wasn't anything innovative or anything. So don't like go expecting that. But it's just a well-made, put together game. And I think this is just going to be more of the same, but with that Sony money.
Yeah, when Chris saw it, he gave a dig to Xbox. He's like, this is what Cameo should have been.
Damn. Yeah, because I remember when I first bought it, I got it thinking Jennifer might want to play it, but she didn't like messing with my PlayStation that much, so she just likes playing on the Switch, part of why it kind of fell to the wayside. So, I don't know, maybe I'll have to pick it up and give it a shot. All right, so this next one here was the Ghost of Yotei Legends coming out March 10th, which I thought was going to be like a multiplayer, its own title. And I was going to ask you about it, Chase, because you played them. And I was like, oh, someone corrected me and said, no, this is a free DLC for people that already owned Ghost of Yotei. And apparently they did this on the previous Ghost title as well.
Yeah.
So can you give a little bit more your thoughts on this one, Chase?
Well, so from what it looks like, kind of just going off what the previous one was. So the previous one for Ghost of Tsushima, you had a co-op story mode, but that was only limited to 2 players. And then you had what was basically like a 15-wave horde mode that you could play with 4 players. And in the Ghost of Tsushima version, you had 4 different classes, just like apparently you do this time as well. In the Ghost of Tsushima, you had the Ronin, who was all about like throwing bombs, and he could basically be like a super, like really good healer. The Samurai was obviously like your tank that was just all about fighting. You had the Assassin, and then you had a I can't remember what the 4th one was, but they're basically like the archer. They were basically like your archer class.
Like ranged, yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm assuming that that's going to change, obviously, for my guess is that your 4 classes in this one are going to be centered around the different weapon types in this game. So like I think one of them was carrying like the big Odachi, which is like the big 2-handed sword. One of them was carrying a spear. One of them's probably going to carry like the chain and sickle. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But it looks like the story mode might be 4-player co-op this time. So that's going to be an interesting upgrade. Nice. One of the things that they added later, which was actually really fun when you had a group to play, like a group of 4 to play it with, is they actually added in the Tsushima one, they added in a raid mode, and it was just like a 3-chapter raid. And it was actually really fun to play once you but the thing was for us is we obviously had to play with somebody that had done it before, because then they can basically teach you like the mechanics of the raid, and then you could play it from there. But no, the horde mode was super fun, like making different builds for it. Like I made a build that was for my samurai that was all about like I basically made my perfect parry window like to where I couldn't not get a perfect parry, and then I would just get to like insta delete like 5 people. Like you could just make all sorts of silly builds, and so I'm definitely excited for this.
Yeah, it sounds a lot better than I initially thought, because I thought it was like, oh, we're making a multiplayer of this series. And I was like, oh God, why are they doing that? Oh, they've already done this and it's an add-on. Okay.
Now, is this the only way you can fight the demons of Yotei?
Yes. I'm assuming that's going to be the story mode. The 4-player story mode.
Cool, the way they each one had like its own like almost like an element almost.
Yeah, because that was in the first one it was the same thing. Like you basically you fought against like demonized versions of the Mongols. Like it was set in kind of like it's just kind of set in like that Japanese like fantastical mythos type setting, but it's really well done. The first one was, so I have no reason to believe that this one isn't going to be just as good, if not better. Especially if they made the story mode 4-player co-op. That's a huge upgrade from the 2.
I mean, I've been tempted to pick this one up because it looked like an interesting game, but like I need a good reason to actually finally get PlayStation Plus if I'm playing online. So
this might be a good reason.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to find a good price for the first one's director's cut.
I think it's gotten pretty cheap nowadays. You can find it pretty easily, I think. But yeah, it seems interesting, and like I said, I knew this was a series that you were really into, Chase. So I wanted to get your thoughts on it. So it sounds like this will be a good thing. Like it's a fun little update, and it's free, which is a good thing as well.
Yeah, the first one was free as well. It was a free update, so that hasn't changed. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I have no reason, as good as the first one was, I have no reason to believe that the second one, until they prove me wrong, isn't going to be.
It looked good, yeah. All right, so this next one here we had is a game called For Loop coming for PS5 and PC. I like how you're giving it thumbs down, but we haven't seen much about it yet because it doesn't have an announced date yet. It's a 4-player co-op shooter with probability map for different types of missions that players vote on as you play. It's being designed by Left 4 Dead creator Mike Booth, which is a good thumbs up in my book in that direction. I absolutely love the series of Left 4 Dead. But you're basically using a play loop idea with fairly impressive graphics for how everything looked. Some fun details, like including like picking this fruit that you can throw at things that'll warp it away, which seemed kind of funny. They had some like portal-like stuff going on. And you having to kind of work together to solve some of the puzzles. Like, it's still really early for this, but the fact that it's also releasing on PC with crossplay kind of got me at least interested to look into it. So, of course, if I have any hope for it, Steven apparently just automatically hates it. What do you not like about it?
I can't believe that Swan actually gave this a thumbs down, though, because this is like right up our alley.
This reeks of Black Ops 7 and they're throwing so much at it. It's a mess. I don't like it at all.
I think you're tainting the idea of anyone else being creative because you were afraid it's going to be like Black Ops 7, which was
I just don't
a mess itself.
Trust anybody who now has worked on Left 4 Dead, because Back 4 Blood was really bad.
I'm still looking forward to it. I mean, they knew what they're doing for multiplayer stuff, and like I said, we'll see more about it later. I'm hopeful.
You guys have the time of your life, because I ain't touching that thing. I will play Demio instead.
So you're going to let two completely different games immediately just write off this one without even looking into it? Like,
this one I'm going to write off hard. Yes.
This is going to be better than Tokyo Scramble.
Yes. It's going to at least look better.
I thought this actually
Oh, go ahead.
I actually thought this looked fantastic. Like, and even like of all the games that I didn't expect, because I watched the State of Play with Shinoa. Shinoa was like, "Oh, I'd play this game with you guys," because she loved the idea of the fact that like she could like go invisible and like sneak around and like do the objectives while like I just become a loose cannon and just blitz everything.
I was like, Jeremy will like this because when you die, you 3D print another one.
That was funny. It's not the first time that's happened, but like, because when I first saw this during the State of Play, I didn't like it. I was like, oh god, it's another multiplayer title. Like, Sony keeps pushing that. And then when I went back to do the notes today and actually went through more of them, I paid attention more to it, watched some other behind the scenes stuff, and I was like, oh no, okay, this actually is potentially kind of cool, but it's also really early. We don't know, like, it's not even going to probably be this year or next year. They've got time to work on it, but
it's a 4-player co-op rogue. What would be roguelite or roguelite?
Kinda.
Whatever. Like, it's.
Let's just hope that Jeff Keighley doesn't put his stamp of approval on it.
He put his stamp of approval on Helldivers, and we sure as hell enjoy the shit out of that.
No, he went hell and high water for Highguard, and Highguard is in bad shape.
Highguard released without any notification whatsoever, and that's kind of their own thing. Like, that's just a shadow drop with people not knowing what's going on. I didn't even know the damn game existed until like 2 or 3 days after it came out. That's not good marketing.
Highguard's just an Overwatch clone anyway, so nobody cares.
Overwatch is an Overwatch clone at this point.
Yeah, literally.
But I'm interested to see where this goes because, and I agree with Chase, this is right up our alley for the stuff we enjoy playing as a group. And I think it's too early to call and just be like, oh, it's going to be terrible, because we don't even have a release date. It's still being shown early. It's got more fucking potential than Marathon ever did. Like, I believe this is going to be more fun than that. And the fact, even one of the shooters that everyone thinks is one of the worst of Redfall, you and I still had fun playing around in it. So there's still potential even in what people consider shit games. So I want to wait and see and give them a chance to actually prove one way or the other. And I think they're going to have some betas and stuff too at some point. So we'll see. But yeah, I kind of figured this would be the case. If it looks like it's fun, Steven's out.
I told you, I warned you it was coming, and I didn't plan it. I just looked at Chris and I was like, he's gonna love this game. There's something about it. He's gonna love it.
I should have put just that I hated the game on here, and you'd be like, it's fucking great. Oh yeah, I love it too. Oh no, what to do? Ah, you bastard.
I will forget for loop.
I think you need to wait and see more before you
I
jump
will
to
forego
conclusion.
for loop.
Okay.
We'll see if we can get Chris involved. It'll be, me, Chase, Chris, and Shinoa.
Yeah, good luck. You get him to enjoy a shooter, and I'll eat my shoe.
Fair enough. Not your cup of tea for any kind of shooter, huh, Chris?
I'm more of a single player guy.
Fair enough.
That's just the way I am.
Nothing wrong with that. All right. The next two, I know we've talked about these recently with the Nintendo Direct and some of the other stuff. Pragmata, I just love the fact that we saw so much more of kind of the crazy level design. It looked like before you were going down to New York at some point, but apparently that whole area is just generated in the same space station. So I'm starting to wonder, do you even ever leave the moon? Or are you still stuck on that place? But it's getting crazy.
Is he actually Mega Man in disguise?
Yeah, I doubt that. I want to see where these bigger, crazier environments, how they run on the Switch too. I'm very curious how those are going to handle it. Like it handled the interior stuff great, but this seems like it's going to be a lot more stressful on the system itself. So we'll see. And beyond that, we had Resident Evil Requiem. I only wanted to mention this because, hey, Leon can shoot things. He actually shot things.
They didn't have to miss on purpose.
No, shot all kinds of stuff. They also introduced some kind of mystery where it looks like people that survived Raccoon City from Resident Evil 2 are getting some kind of virus or something happening with them when they showed Leon's hand with something growing on it.
Yeah, they confirmed that was Sherry Birkin's voice at the end.
That's what I was wondering. And I know they said there's other characters that come back, so it's going to be kind of cool to revisit some of those locations and see what you find. Hopefully you can find the Kendo gun shop. I don't care if it's destroyed. I just want to see it down an alley or something just to see it, That'd be a fun way to go, like find a gun or something in there if it's still left over. After that, we had Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered coming out March 3rd for PS4, 5, Switch 1 and 2, Xbox, and PC. I was excited for this one until they kind of pulled a bullshit move that I'll talk about here in a minute that I'm hoping they correct. But this is a full remaster of the final game in the Legacy of Kain series. It includes enhanced graphics and models that you can choose from, which is great. Optional character models and skins to unlock and choose from, with a lot of different variations and styles, including ones that were originally intended for the games but not released. They've added in a new 3D camera and a new map system for tracking missions, so it kind of plays better if you don't want to use the original camera. There's a photo mode, which I always love. And then there's lost levels have been added back in, along with development and behind-the-scenes content, because this, one of those games where they're doing that. The part that I had an issue with is they had included a playable demo of the unreleased sequel to this game called Legacy of Kain Dark Prophecy. And there's also a series of digital comics, but they're all locked behind a digital deluxe edition only. No word yet on if any of the physical editions will have access to this, or if they're basically saying you can get it physical, but you won't get all the content, or you can get it digital with this one limited edition. You get all the content, but you don't get a physical release. And for something that's trying to be archival and restoring this stuff and bringing it all back, feels like a really shitty move to me.
It's not the first time I've seen stuff like this. The game Double Dragon Revive.
Yeah.
You had to get I think the collector's edition only physical to get Double Dragon Dodgeball.
Yeah. And that at least wasn't like trying to bring back or remaster the old game. Like, I don't agree with that content either and the way it did it, but it just, if you're trying to make this game be this, museum to that title with all this behind the scenes stuff and all these other things, don't just lock it behind some weird way to get it. Like, it just seems like they're just trying to pump up the digital sales.
Maybe they'll allow you to upgrade to the deluxe edition.
As I say, there might be a physical deluxe edition. Like, we don't know.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Because there's a lot of games that I could buy the standard physical, and then when you go to the shop, it's like upgrade to the deluxe.
Yeah, and that would be nice. Like, I know it's asking a lot. Hopefully, if they do a physical edition, that all this stuff would be included. It's kind of nice, but outside of that one thing, this game looks amazing, and I am looking forward to playing it for all the versions they've shown. Like, I was kind of excited for that. So regardless, I'm getting that at least. But like any of you guys, I think Steven and Chase, you guys play the Legacy of Kain games prior. Chris, I know you said like single player titles. You ever mess with the series or?
I played the first, and I played a little bit of the second when it was on Dreamcast, but I've never finished them. They're pretty cool in terms of lore, though.
The Dreamcast edition was one of my favorite ways to play that one.
Nice.
Now I've been just enjoying it on the Switch.
Oh, Chris eats. He pulls down his scarf and
just absorbs it in. Oh, that's terrible. This one was not part of the state of play, but they did announce the Legacy of Kain Ascendance as well. It's a separate announcement. This is coming out March 31st for PS5, Switch 1 and 2, Series X and S, and PC. But this is a 2D pixel art side-scrolling adventure announced, basically kind of covering some of the events of Soul Reaver throughout the series. Because they showed like particular clips of like when Raziel first gets his wings and shows it off, and Kain comes and rips them off, and it's kind of retelling parts of those bits. It looks to have some segments or puzzles that are pseudo 3D or kind of like a pixelated 3D environment that you can explore. So it makes me wonder if this is like a Metroidvania with some kind of puzzle stuff built in. Maybe you've got to, because Soul Reaver kind of was a Metroidvania anyways. You'd go, you get abilities, come back, and that would give you access to other places, like when you could start phasing through things or jumping back and forth. But beyond that, I couldn't really find much about this game, if it is kind of retelling or if it's treading any new story at all. Maybe it's just kind of a condensing of the previous ones for people. I don't know.
So far, so good.
Yeah. I really like how it looks.
Fans are eating good.
Yeah. And people that are not eating good, we'll talk about here in a sec. And that's for Dead or Alive 6 Last Round. Coming June 25th for PS5, PC, Xbox Series X and S. And I love how I saw people talking online going, oh, cool, they're just treading out the worst Dead or Alive they made. Which I don't know if that's actually the case. It's just really funny, the reactions I've seen.
Well, it's not like you can ask the creator to come back.
Touche. This is a new re-release of Dead or Alive 6 with DLC characters included, asterisks, a photo mode, and more. More costumes and characters are going to be added via DLC later. But the SNK characters that were added via DLC originally have either been removed or are going to be brought back as paid DLC again. Because you could use, I think, like Mai and someone else. Go ahead, Steven.
Yeah, it was Mai and Kula from King of Fighters. Also, for people who do like photo modes, there's jiggle physics in photo mode. As you move the characters around, they jiggle for no discernible reason except it's Dead or Alive.
It's Dead or Alive. You knew it was going to be in there.
Oh, the next announcement they had, they were blatant with that, which was kind of funny.
Blatant. It's also the thumbnail on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the last thing that I thought was kind of bad about this, it's releasing for all these systems, but then they've also announced there will be no crossplay, and there's no word if there's actually any kind of rollback netcode. So it may have the old messed up netcode that people did not like. And if everybody buys different versions, no one gets to play together in any means, which is just, in this day and age, absolutely terrible for a fighting game.
But it's free as well.
Well, there's a free version. Like, they'll have that free-to-play version of it.
Like Killer Instinct did. Yeah, well, they'll probably cycle.
Yeah, Killer Instinct was actually fun. We'll see what this does. So, after that, they had the Dead or Alive 30th Anniversary Project announcement, which this is the one that had the very gratuitous boob shot. Like, just, they zoomed in, and they were showing the boobs, and they just never bothered showing whoever's character's face that was. They were just like, we don't need the face, moving on.
You know who this is. You know those.
I don't know. Most of them have that. I don't know.
As soon as I saw blue, I knew who it was.
Oh.
And then I saw them, and I was like, yeah, it's definitely her.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name. Who was it?
Kasumi.
Okay, thank you. But this
the shiniest Ryu you'll ever see.
It was a very shiny Ryu. They only said it was in development for PS5. I was not able to find any reference to other systems, but likely this will come to other things. At least PC. I don't see it being a PS5 only title. So, I don't know. We'll find out. All right. So, the next game they had was Control Resonant for 2026 that showed up. Couldn't find other systems this is going to be released for. Why are you giving a thumbs down already? I thought you liked Control.
This one just rubbed me the wrong way. Again, he was like, this is super early. And I'm like, then why are you showing it? And it basically was playing like a Wish version of Infamous. And I was just like, what's going on?
It seemed more like Control was mixed with Gravity Rush to me, because that seemed like more of the design idea. But it looks like to be heavily on melee combat with weapons that can swap and change on the fly. And then you can change your form of gravity as you're jumping around, dodging things. So
it does look more fun than Firebreak.
Yeah, you tried Firebreak. You still won't try For Loop. So I don't know.
I gotta stay away from the fours.
Oh, F's. God. Yeah, I'm hoping we see some more of this. It's supposed to come out this year. I don't know. Chris, I know you've played the Controls as well. Did you have any interest in this one?
I still need to play the others to completion before I even think of starting that one.
Yeah, this one feels a lot different than the other Control that I've messed around with. So
I think
play the second one.
I think the particular segment that they showed us was that. I think it was just a particular segment because they made mention of that you got this ability.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what that ability did. So I imagine that you'll probably use that ability a lot.
It was funny because I think some footage of this leaked because there was people online saying they're going to announce Devil May Cry 6. And then when people saw this footage, they're like, yeah, we thought this was Devil May Cry 6.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm curious to see where it goes, but I wasn't really sold because it seemed like it's going to be kind of crazy having to keep changing gravity while dodging things. And I'm like, I don't want like Dark Souls gameplay all the time where it's like dodge, 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 and do all this. Let me just enjoy the damn world and explore. Like Control did have a little bit of that, but it didn't seem like it was to this extent. So hopefully the weirdness will come out because I think that's what is the best part of Control is when things do get absolutely weird while you're exploring the world and kind of play into that. And I'm kind of hoping they don't lose it. So after that, we had Crimson Moon coming 2026 for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. This one looked really interesting to me. Like, I love the art style of it. It's an action adventure slasher that just incredibly bloody, with a lot of color, which is nice. And this is from the indie developers Probably Monsters, which Probably Monsters was created by former Bungie president and CEO Harold Ryan. So maybe this is part of where the Bungie people went to. There's an optional 2-player co-op mode for it as well. And then combat kind of felt like it looked like a Zelda or Darksiders to me, more than a Dark Souls, because it was more combo based than dodge and parry. But basically you're playing as a half-angel Nephilim sworn to protect humanity as a Knight of the Crimson Moon. And then you fight to reclaim a city district by district for the levels and parts that you play. So, Steven, it seems like you're interested. Go ahead, Chase.
Oh, just gave me like first-person Darksiders Doom vibes. Melee Doom, basically. That's what I kind of got from it.
It looks it for a lot of the kills and stuff, too. They were generous with the blood, for sure. I don't know. I want to see some more about it. We don't have an exact release date for it, but I'm definitely
it looked like a fun slasher. I was just surprised because I was thinking it was something else, and then there was like Crimson Moon. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know quite what it was when I first saw it. And, you know, it's gotten to the point where you see like Gothic cathedrals and knights and things, and you're like, oh, okay, this is another Souls-like.
It did look a little too detailed in the beginning. I was just like, my eyes.
Yeah, that cathedral was crazy. The amount of stuff they had in there.
I was like, that's a mega church. Holy cow.
Yeah.
If there's a hurricane, they'll shut the door and kick you out.
Yep.
Yeah. So at least this one we might be able to try. It's only 2-player co-op, so we'll have to take turns, but we can mess around with it and see what we got.
You guys can play 4 loop. I'll play this.
I'll play them both. I'm eating good.
Yeah,
Co-op's
I'm
co-op,
okay,
man.
For sure. It's what we enjoy. So this I thought was kind of fun. Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition. Digital available now. Physical coming June 26th for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 1, and PC, with physical only coming to PS5 and Switch 1. This is a digital Eclipse release, so it's a proper playable museum to the games, which includes art, articles, videos, interviews, and a whole bunch more, which I love digging through that stuff in a lot of their other titles. But this is going to include 5 playable versions of the original Rayman, which will be the PlayStation release, the Atari Jaguar, MS-DOS, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance, which is kind of fun that they had those. They're also adding 120 plus additional levels as different level packs that were released for different editions. So there was like level packs for the MS-DOS release and things like that they're throwing in there. And then they're also including a never-before-released Super Nintendo prototype that is actually playable. I guess you added in there, Steven. You just walk around and that's it? Go ahead.
So since it came out, people were already delving into it. So there's 2 PSAs.
Mm-hmm.
Prototype is exactly like it sounds because you get to walk around. There's no enemies, and that's it. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. You can't even finish the level. It's just see what it could have done on the Super Nintendo.
And that makes sense because they're not including it as one of the playable games. So it's good they don't do that.
The interesting fact that's been going around now is all the original music has been removed and replaced with something else.
Oh, for all the actual versions of the game?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Which I was like, I don't know if it's a deal for me because I don't have any memorable Rayman tunes in my head. But I was just like, for some people, that was like, how does Digital Eclipse allow this?
Yeah, that is some monkey paw level fuckery
because they're
right
like
there.
museum guys. So why wouldn't you let us know? Like, hey, we couldn't get the rights to this or something. I don't know. But
I mean, when they're going to the level of detail of finding like old commercials and scanning in ads and other things for this, like just to completely skip out the music.
That's a PSA for anybody buying the digital. The games run great. Some of them you can't force widescreen on because that's how the PlayStation was one. It was bordered. I think the Atari Jaguar is supposed to be the best version because that had widescreen, but the music has been changed in all of them, they said.
I think for the original release, the Jaguar was kind of the shining one for that because it ran so much quicker with how the hardware handled the sprites and everything for the 2D, as well as being able to faster read and everything from the cartridges.
Man, the Atari Jaguar, it was 2 Sega Genesis processors glued together. Do the math. 16 plus 16 equals 64-bit.
Oh, God. Yeah. I never had much of an interest to get an Atari Jaguar, and now they're just so expensive. I'll emulate it before I buy one. Interesting
story is my Blockbuster, when they were still around, accidentally sold them to us for $15 a piece. And it's a rental case.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, okay, I have an Atari Jaguar. And then they called and said the employee made a mistake, and if you could please come back and return them. And I wasn't feeling good about my purchase, so I returned mine. My friend kept his, and then it imploded and smoke came out of it a few months later.
Holy shit.
So I was like, I saved $15.
Even if you had to fix it, it would be worth way more than $15 now, especially with that case.
Yeah, there's just nothing other than Alien vs. Predator, which that I'd want to play specifically on a Jaguar, though.
Yeah. And even for the better games, you have to get a Jaguar CD, which is even more freaking expensive at this point.
Yeah, and then you get the toilet. Yep.
Yeah, or yeah. I think now the shell was reused as a dental tool or something. It's just
that's awesome.
It's hilarious. Looks like somebody else added a section here. Go for it.
I can say this part.
Okay.
So for as well as the PlayStation Plus premium stuff, which it will include Spider-Man 2. So if you haven't bought it yet, you can just play it through that. That was their big announcement that leaked. The Classics was pretty interesting because for premium subscribers, they will add the PSP Tekken game, Dark Resurrection, in March. So that's the first time you can play it on your PS5. And then surprisingly, in May, they are going to give the original PlayStation game Time Crisis, which uses their controller's motion sensor to shoot people a la House of the Dead did. But it's very interesting that they got Time Crisis to work on a modern console without a gun now.
I really am curious how that's going to play. I don't want to subscribe to the whole thing just to get that, but if either of you have it, let me know how it works.
Plus, the things of these is I think some of them you can buy separately sometimes.
I don't think they allow that for the original PlayStation titles, sadly. They want you to buy that high end of their subscription.
We'll see. I know some of the older games they allowed it because they said like you had cross buy. Mm-hmm. Like if you bought it for PS3, you can still have it. So I don't know what they'll do here because they're Time Crisis is technically, it's borderline PS1, and then the next one was on PS2. So it's like, just let us buy it.
Yeah, because I've just recently been able to start playing that because I had it, and I have got a PlayStation. I have a CRT, but I had to find an original GunCon because you had to use a GunCon 1 to play that. Same thing with because there's a couple of them that you could use a GunCon 2, but not that many if you played it on a PS2. But it was that, and then there was the other shooter, the Point Blank, that required the original.
And then you needed the GunCon 3, and then you needed the GunCon 4.
Sure. The 3 was the one with for PS3 that had the sensor bar, right?
Yeah.
And I don't remember what the 4 was. I don't think I've seen that.
There was a 4, it was for PS4.
Oh, okay.
But I can't remember if I'm lying or not.
Well, the one for some PS3, even the later version of Time Crisis they re-released, and then PS4 was using the Move controller. You just put it in a housing and use that for your light gun, which actually worked out really well. That thing was surprisingly accurate. All right. Next up, we had Mina the Hollower coming for PS5, Switch 1 and 2, Xbox Series X and S, PC. Still doesn't have a release date, though we do at least know it's supposed to be this year.
At least it's before 2030.
Yeah, it's true. But apparently there's an exclusive PS5 limited time demo that's out now.
So if you didn't play it on your Switch or your PC, here's another demo.
Oh, they did release a demo for the other ones? Okay. Because they were making it like they emphasized it's exclusive. Only we have it.
No, the demo was already released because I played through it to the end, and I think so did Chris. And we really wanted to do well because Yacht Club Games, for some reason, said this is make or break for them. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, because I haven't really looked at messing with the demos because I'm like, I'm going to get this. It is based off of the Game Boy Color Zeldas for a lot of the style, and I absolutely love those. So I'm going to get this no matter what.
Try not to listen to what some people are calling it.
What do you mean?
They're calling it Link's Awakening meets Dark Souls. So I was just
I asked for that. You told me not to ask. I walked right into that shit. Yeah.
But I played through the demo and I didn't feel that way. So
okay, I'll trust you on that.
That could be something if you want to play like hardcore hollower mode.
Yeah, I just want to play it as a little bit more action-based Zelda. And that's what it looked like to me, which is fine.
Yeah, and Yacht Club's good about that, making stuff like if you want it to be fun and if you want it to be challenging. So.
Very true. This next one, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this correctly. Yakoh Shinobi Ops. It's such a weird title for that. PS5 and PC coming in 2027, so they announced this one pretty early. But it's a tactical stealth action game in the world of Shinobi that I believe is co-op.
I don't know who owns it, but man, it would have been great to just call this Tenchu Tactics.
No kidding.
But I don't know who owns Tenchu. I think somebody who doesn't deserve it owns it.
From now. Software, I think. Don't they own it?
Oh yeah, they don't deserve it, right?
Yeah. So I find it kind of funny. Like I said, this is an early look at it. It's not coming out till 2027. For some reason, Steven's going to give this one a chance, even though he just, whatever.
I didn't say I was going to play it.
Well, I was just messing with you.
You wouldn't play this if it was co-op?
I don't think this is going to be co-op.
I think it's 4-player co-op from what they talked about.
It looks too involved, but that's just me. I don't know. It seems more you have to like select and keep switching between them on the fly, but we'll see.
The thing is, I think the gameplay is all above view because all that looked natural as you're moving around the map and so forth, which would do well for co-op if you're separated. But all the scenes where
if this was like stealth action or if it was XCOM, so I was like, I'm confused.
It looks like it's stealth action because you're hiding and doing things in real time, but it's that above camera view. But it was funny every time they would go to more of a close up, like cinematic camera, you could tell the character models were not really made for being looked at that closely, or their animations. Like if you look at the end of the trailer when they're running away, it looks like they're all running on ice. Their feet are not connecting to the ground and they're just like stepping way too many times. And it's not bad. I just thought it was hilarious.
They're fast as fuck, boy.
It was probably a little bit early, I think.
Yeah, and I've seen similar stuff.
It seems to be the theme.
Yeah. Well, I've seen similar things happen before where like a game is intended to have this pulled back above you camera, so all your animations are designed around that. And then when they do other cinematic cameras, the animation doesn't quite fit correctly and you start noticing weird little effects. So yeah, I don't know, it looks fun.
Yeah, I mean, I love me some Shinobi, so anything set in the actual Shinobi world is good. But no, the reason why it kind of gave me vibes of, because I'm with Jeremy, I think this is going to be co-op. The question was whether or not it was going to be like a tactics, like a XCOM based thing, or a real time. And I think it's looked too fluid to necessarily be tactics based. But I mean, until we know more, I guess we'll see. But
well, they showed scenes of like one of the characters running, and you could see where he's making the waves, where he's making noise, and something else was chasing him. And as you're trying to go around and hide, and that didn't seem like it was turn based.
But it kind of gave me kind of gave me Origami vibes, like because it's quite similar to that.
Okay. The PlayStation blog.
Yeah, I just pulled that up.
Puts me in a better spot because it's from the original development studio behind Tenchu,
and it is 4-player co-op.
And it's 4-player co-op.
Okay.
So that's been confirmed.
Okay, so yeah, I'll definitely play this.
We both pulled up the same page.
Before for loop. So. Because I loved playing Origami with Chase. Because that was another game that we need to finish. But
yeah, it was quite similar. Origami was because it was stealth action based.
Yeah.
I don't think I played that one.
There's 2 of them now.
Oh, nice. So yeah, like I said, we've got a while for this one. It's not until at least next year, but I don't know. Hopefully it's something people enjoy. The next title is the most ridiculous in the weirdest way for me. Project Windless for PS5, maybe PC. We don't know yet. It's to be announced for the release date. It's based on a fantasy novel series, The Bird That Drinks Tears, and developed by Crafton Montreal. And they are playing this trailer serious as they can be. They're showing like all this overly dramatic, magical stuff of all these characters and, magic and all these crazy things happening. And then all of a sudden they show a chicken warrior. And I don't mean like, oh, it's somebody wearing a chicken suit or whatever. No, it's straight up a giant, muscly man.
I watched him like crush skulls with his claws. He was like,
yeah, he has chicken legs. So he has like the little yellow, scaly, couple toes chicken. He's got the little wobbler on his head, but it's almost like comedically oversized muscle man chicken guy.
He's even got his like, what do you call it? He's got his Skyrim Bagok scream.
Yeah, and this, all I could think about is there was a webcomic that featured this chicken warrior in a D&D thing where it's trying to kill some people to break a curse. And it's like, oh, the guy tells him, you can only become your original self if you can actually, kill me with this sword, which he just grabs him. And I think he just pushes him into the sword sideways and kills him that way. And turns out he's actually just a chicken. He just turned into a big guy. But when he was the big muscular, it looked just like this damn chicken guy. So it's such a trip for how that is, for that weird combination of things.
People were already calling this Cocknesty Warriors.
Oh, God. I was going to mention, the gameplay looks like a newer Muso. Chase, I wanted to get your thought on that one, because that's right up your alley for that type of game.
Yeah, it was quite funny, because when the game, like when we were watching the trailer, well, that's what, like, Shinoa looked at me, she's like, is that chicken? I was like, it looks like it. And then, and I was completely tuned out to this game, but then when they actually showed like you could have like these massive like battle segments or stuff like that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm into this now. Like this looks good because like not a lot of games
You're like,
actually
I'm
like
keen on the
capture that.
Doodle. Let's go.
Yeah, so, I might actually give this one a shout.
Okay, so I was wondering, like, when we were watching the trailer,
Give chicken a chance.
yeah, as soon as I saw that, yeah, you'll give the chicken a chance, but not 4-loop.
Exactly.
Fuck off. But like they showed the rooster guy and like all this overly dramatic cinematic, and I was honestly expecting it to change to be like some silly cartoon game. Like, you know, because I've seen trailers do that where it's like overly serious, and then you find out, oh no, it's actually this. And then it just kept going, and I was very confused for a minute. So, I don't know. If this does come out on PC, somebody's going to have to make a mod where this chicken guy is killing a bunch of KFC people. Like, eventually you're going to try and kill the Colonel. Like, that's what should be the entire game.
Or give us a collector's edition where you get a coupon for a bucket.
That'd be amazing.
It wouldn't be the first time. You could play this on that KFC PC, maybe, the one that somebody actually got.
You can heat chicken on.
Yeah, I like absurd things. I just did not expect this at all. So, yeah. Chris, you've been quiet on this one. I need to hear your chicken opinions on this.
Funny thing is, it's based on a Korean epic fantasy novel, and the author that wrote it is considered the J.R.R. Tolkien of South Korea. So I might read the book.
Okay. And I'm not knocking it. It's such a weird idea because every time I've ever seen a chicken as a main character, it is never a serious thing. I don't think I've ever seen a serious one. It's always like a joke cartoon or something, and you have those characters. So
I just hope they just don't withhold the bonus from the developers like they do with Subnautica, Crafton.
yeah, good point. They're still in the middle of that lawsuit, I'm pretty sure. All right, so after that, we got something a little more serious, and that was Star Wars Galactic Racer coming 2026 for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. It looks like this is Star Wars meets Burnout because, well, we're happy to say that this is made by the people that used to make Burnout, so it kind of makes sense. They really showed off the Burnout-style crashes with the slow motion, parts tumbling and ripping apart. You've got different classes of speeders, pod racers, and other classic Star Wars vehicles that they were showing off. Lots of little references. I was enjoying seeing that, especially as they're flying through.
There seems to be some kind of story mode even.
Yeah, I mean, some of the pod racers previously had that, so it kind of makes sense. But, like, you know, it looked like they were on Hoth or a Hoth-adjacent thing because we all know in Star Wars, every planet is just a single type. They don't ever seem to have multiple environments, which is a weird way to do your universe, but, you know, you do you. But this is developed by Fuse Games, featuring former Burnout and Need for Speed developers, which is great. I'll be getting this one for sure because it just looks so much fun.
This might be a day one just because it's. Yeah. I want to support anything that embraces Burnout.
I second.
I just love a good Star Wars racer.
And the thing that I mentioned last time we talked about this thing, they gave me towards the end. They gave me the dung 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 of the pod racers, and I was like, "All right, I'm in."
Oh yeah, they had that whole last racer in the trailer was just pod racing, and
as soon as I heard the chugging of the pod racers, I was like, "I'm back on my N64. I'm good. Let's go."
Well, it looked like that was the Bunta Eve race, like the actual one there on Tatooine, because it looked like they were going into the canyon during that part of the race, and I'd love to see that map redone. And there's a couple classic maps I hope they redo as well.
I think as a pre-order bonus you get Sebulba too, don't you, or something?
I didn't see any pre-order bonuses, but you do see Sebulba's pod racer in that trailer. Yeah, because I don't remember the short weird guy that they focus on, but when it turns behind him, you can see Sebulba ahead of him to the right, his orange dual engine pod racer.
Yeah, I think it was in a different announcement, like when they talked about the same game, because I think they mentioned something about Sebulba. I don't know if it was just him being in the game or
the last trailer we saw, it ended showing an older Sebulba with gray hair, like walking up to his pod racer, and it was like, oh, Sebulba's back, because that also meant he survived. Because people were like, oh, did he die in the Phantom Menace? Like, no, he lived. He just was really pissed.
Midichlorians and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, so the next thing here we had was Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 coming August 27th for PS5, Switch 1 and 2, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, which we kind of knew this was going to be coming after, obviously, the first one being called Volume 1, unless you're Sega with their Sega collection on the Dreamcast that said Volume 1 and nothing else ever came out. We kind of expected a sequel. So this time, as everyone also thought, we got Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, finally taking this title off of the PlayStation 3 where it has been locked for a very long time now. They're including the screenplay book, master book, as well as the Metal Gear Solid 4 database, which you had to get digitally on the original PS3. So it'll be kind of fun to dig through some of that. They're also, I know they talked about it having an increased internal resolution when it's rendering resolution. So it should look and play better. We should get better frame rate out of it, which would be kind of cool. But one thing I wonder, are you going to have any kind of load times of him just sitting there smoking again? Like, you think they'll still continue that or bring it back?
It'll probably be a screensaver if you want to put it on in the options.
Maybe.
It'll probably be some kind of PS5 like background. You can just have him sitting there smoking constantly as your menus there.
Dynamic background on your PS5. There you go. That'd be great.
Oh my god, that would be terrible. Oh god. And Steven, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I think you also were wondering, like, what's going to happen with the parts of this game where they're talking about, oh, this is on the PlayStation 3, or it's using a Blu-ray disc. Yeah, it's using a Blu-ray.
So it's like, are we going to have the person say, it's on a game key card?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, because it technically would still be right for the PS5 or Series X release, because that is a Blu-ray. But what about, the other ones? So, yeah, I'm curious about how that's going to go. And then I think they had other PlayStation references of like the controller and things like that too. So
they did say that Metal Gear Online will not be on this, though.
I think that makes sense. I don't think they brought back the online for any of the other modes either. So, yeah. But continuing on the other games we have Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker for PSP, which also includes its screenplay book and master book. And then they didn't announce it during the event or show it off, but it was like in one screenshot. If you look, it's also going to include the Game Boy Color release of Metal Gear Ghost Babel.
Great game.
It's a really good game. I don't know. I guess you've played it, Steven, Chase, or Chris. Have you guys ever tried this one or knew about it?
I didn't have Ghost Babel.
It's almost like Metal Gear Solid 1.5 because it takes that formula with the crazy named bosses and expands upon it, and it's nice. It's really good. Shame it was just on Game Boy Color, obviously, but it was still well done. So.
Yeah. Chris, you ever play this one at all, or even know of it?
I'm really into Metal Gear.
This was a fun kind of mix of it. It's almost like if you had Metal Gear Solid but ran it on an NES. And I know, as crazy as that sounds, it worked.
There was a title missing from this collection, though.
Which one?
Revengeance Rising.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever gonna.
Because they literally show what he looks like in 4. So I was like, I thought with 4 they'd give you Rising Revengeance because it's the same model. But
well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think you're gonna get Revengeance, but I don't think you're gonna get it.
Maybe they'll pull a digital Eclipse and just add it as DLC.
What if we get a third one that's got that and then also includes Twin Snakes?
No.
Don't.
I played the Twin Snakes. I still have it. That was one of my preferred ways of playing Metal Gear back then, just to mess around with it, because it was a fun game. I know the camera broke a lot of things, but it looked good at least. The last thing is we're getting the digital soundtrack Volume 2, of course, adding in the music that you can play because they had that. And then beyond that, for not just the games themselves, but the Master Collection Volume 1 is also getting a new update. This increased the textures in some titles, increased the performance on multiple systems, and it also included an enhanced Switch 2 mode if you're playing it on there. MGS1 is a high-resolution mode that it kind of looks like the smoothing effect if you played it on an emulator. Some people might like it. Some people think it looks too
It loses
flat.
some of its charm, yeah.
Yeah, MGS1 was really designed around having that kind of like your head's bobbing while you're talking, like you can't see the mouth move. It looks really ridiculous when everything's smoothed out. But hey, if you like it, you have the option now.
As a warning to everybody, though, everybody's now looking to get the Switch version for portability and the fact that it runs 1080p 60. So everybody's like, if that's true, everybody's like, I want it now. I was like, so all right.
Yeah, I mean it was never a complete on cart. So I think my kids ended up just getting it digitally, so I can just borrow theirs and play around with it. Metal Gear Solid 3 has a high resolution mode with a much higher resolution textures now. And they smoothed out the frame rate again, as we said. Switch 2 had the significant resolution and frame rate boost for MGS 2 and 3, which now they're both running at 1080p at full locked 60 FPS. The only times when they were testing it that it drops is when it's intended to drop, because they used to use frame differences for some of the visual effects. So those will continue. It's not the system not doing it right. It's just that's how they used to do slow motion and some of those features for the cinematics. So yeah, I'm excited to play because I did like Metal Gear Solid 4 back in the day. I played through it back when you had to play through a chapter and then wait for it to install the next one and then switch it out. Because it wasn't until like a couple years later that they added the update that let you just install the whole damn game. So I still will never understand why they just had him sitting there smoking the whole time.
4 was freaking phenomenal. It was such a phenomenal game. A lot of people, I don't think as many people liked it, but I thought it was fantastic.
It was weird, but that's kind of what Metal Gear is. It's supposed to be weird. I just keep remembering crawling through the microwave tunnel.
Yeah.
It's just, you're just frying yourself as you're crawling through. It's like, all right.
It's like, yeah, that game was...
Liquid!
Yeah. So many like crazy moments in that game, but yeah, it was an epic game.
I remember how impressed I was because that was when they had the active camo that like you could hide somewhere and then have it just kind of change in real time. But yeah, we'll have to see about that one. Leading from that, we had Darwin's Paradox, which is coming out April 2nd for PS5, Series X and S, PC, and Switch 2, which started off with a fun demo or variation they're going to have where it's basically an homage to Metal Gear. So you're the octopus in a version of Snake's sneak suit from the first Metal Gear Solid, and you're trying to get through a level with boxes and all that fun stuff. But the game itself is a fun-looking puzzle stealth platformer where you play as an octopus trying to escape different locations and survive. So you can try that out. They are announcing there's a physical release coming for Series X, PS5, and Switch 2 from Limited Run Games, which I think those are available, or they're coming to be available here soon, right?
It'll be available, and the pre-order will be until March 15th, and the demo's out on all the systems now.
Okay, they did release that on different ones. Is it the standard demo, or are they all getting the Metal Gear Weird one?
I think they're all getting the Metal Gear Weird one, because I would think, because that's their big pull. But yeah, I saw it on the Switch 2 eShop for the demo. I downloaded it.
I just want to try it because it looks funny.
I was told by somebody in this podcast to play that instead of Tokyo Scramble, and I scoffed at him.
Of what, Darwin's Paradox?
He's like, please play that. And I was like, later, after Tokyo Scramble.
You did your best, Chris.
You tried.
You got to work with what you got, I guess. Konami continued rolling on with Castlevania Belmont's Curse coming 2026 for PS5, Series X and S, Switch 1, and PC. This is a new 2D, absolutely beautiful looking Castlevania title. It takes place 23 years after the events of Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse, and you play as a yet unnamed female descendant of the Belmont family.
It's Sonia. It's got to be Sonia.
You would think, but you think they would also have said that. It kind of looks like her design, though.
The Steam page says it's Trevor's successor. Everybody thinks it's going to be Sonia, and I'm just going to be Herzog and be like, I would like to see the baby. Because back before they took it out of canon, Sonia Belmont gave birth to Simon Belmont.
Yeah, because she was in... Which one of the Game Boy releases was it?
Adventure.
The one that got remade on the Wii.
Legends. It's the hugely expensive one.
I don't know if I have that one or not, but I know they released it in the collection, but
And then they made Resurrection, but they canceled that. That was the sequel that had her in it on Dreamcast.
oh, that's right. She was in the Dreamcast one. Yeah, I think they found a version of it that they leaked that you could play around in.
But this has already got good pedigree because if you've played the Dead Cells Castlevania DLC,
Yes.
this is the same people. So they're just doing what they know, but even more.
Yeah, I was glad to find out this is an actual Castlevania. Like you go from areas exploring, finding new unlocks, and going back. Because I thought they were gonna do like a not a Souls-like, but a roguelite where you just try and go as far as you can, die, and start over. And I was like, I really don't want them to do that again. We had enough of it in Castlevania.
A little bit of that Dead Cells dodging and blocking thing.
And that's fine, but they did confirm it's an actual Castlevania game.
Yeah, and they also said on their page, they said look forward to more announcements for Castlevania as well. So they said this begins a new chapter in the Castlevania franchise. So
it's a good start if this is where they're beginning, because this looks beautiful. And I'm glad they're sticking to the old 2D style as well.
It's the best way to ease us in before giving us like Lords of Bad,
Lords of Shadow,
3, Lords of Bad 3, starring Patrick Stewart.
It could be worse. You could get the N64 once again. Those were not good.
I like the first one.
They run better on the analog 3D now. I've been messing with them because it actually fixes the frame rate and lets you play it. So they're kind of fun to explore. But that second one's so hard to get a hold of.
It's some of the worst platforming in 3D history.
Oh, yeah. No, they had no idea what they're doing.
Is Lord of Shadows the God of War clone?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought those games were actually all right.
Release.
Well, it's okay. They are all right, but if you want to, it's an alternate telling. So if you love the lore, it's a complete change.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what was the DMC Devil May Cry, where they're like,
so I won't spoil it. But they drastically changed the history of Castlevania with the Lords of Shadow series, kind of making Mercury Steams its own bastardized child.
Yeah.
So some people like it, some people don't like it. It's it's kind of like whenever you do a spin-off of Star Wars, you either like it or you're like, don't put that canon.
I think a better way to describe it, if you're familiar with like the different Gundam series, where you've got, there's some of the Gundam series are locked in with their own thing and they take their own story in their own direction. Then you have the Universal ones that are, they're all actual canon as they go through it, and they kind of separate it out that way. So it's like, hey, we're making a Castlevania game, but you got to find out which one it's connected to. So, all right. This one was a bit of a surprise for me. Silent Hill Townfall, coming 2026 for PS5 and PC. You play as a man named Simon Ordell that keeps waking up in the water in an area called St. Amelia. And then you're using an old handheld CRT TV to try and find frequencies around the area for story content, as well as using it as a tool to warn you of danger, kind of like the old radios were in some of the old Silent Hills, like where you'd start getting static and other things if some of these creatures are around. I watched the event they had after this, where they talked more about it, and it does have action-based stuff, like you can shoot a gun, swing with, wooden planks or bats and things that you find, but it's not just an action title. You're still kind of pushed for stealth. Like you want to sneak your way around town to try and avoid some of these creatures that have Silent Hill. I'd say ridiculous designs, but that is Silent Hill. So it's not just one or the other. It's kind of a mix between them. So you have to kind of balance that. Too. Say what?
It's got a physical too.
Oh, cool. I didn't know they were going to do that.
Physical for PS5 is on Best Buy. So
sweet.
Yeah, this is like Tokyo Scramble meets Silent Hill.
And now I don't want to play this. I just quit. You keep bringing up Tokyo Scramble to the point I'm not going to want scrambled eggs anymore.
I'm getting my $30 worth some way or another. Okay.
You could have spent that $30 better on anything else.
Yeah, for
like Demio.
Better expenditure.
I told you this is the one thing I was going to jump in head first. No reviews, just going to go by trailer alone.
And we were going to judge you, but then we're like, hey, we're interested in this possible future game. You're like, I'm going to judge the hell out of you.
If you guys ever want to inject what could be an antidote or a poison too this year, you can. But this was my blind purchase. That's it.
I just like giving you shit about it. It's hilarious.
Hey, I've got another blind purchase for you.
No.
What's that, Chase?
For loop.
There you go. I don't know. Any of you guys interested in Silent Hill? Like, I don't know if we play that many of the series. I didn't play Silent Hill F. I did play Silent Hill 2, the remake, which was good.
Like F's going on sale now, so it seems like almost a pretty good time to get it. I heard Silent Hill 2 remake was really well done too.
That was great. That was really, really good.
So, and I watched a playthrough of Silent Hill F, and there's actually 4 or 5 endings, and it actually tells you at the end, like if you don't do this throughout the game, it'll result in a different ending. And I'm like, that's really cool, actually.
Yeah, I like that. Instead of having to guess.
Said, like, and I hate to say this for the second time this year, a lot of people said the new game plus really opens up the game and it gets even better from there because of the different way of playing it, and now you're going to see different scenes. Because when you try to skip the scenes in New Game Plus, it says, "Would you like to skip this new cutscene?" And you're like, "New cutscene." So
we'll eventually wear you down on some of these New Game Pluses. It's slowly but surely getting
maybe they're listening to me. Like, you don't just give them the same game with all their stats. You give me a different game, like 100 Line Academy, like Silent Hill F.
I think 100 Line Academy, that is a drastic change on that. Like, I don't mind being able to go back and replay some of the game, like, but having your abilities, because then you can just kind of relax and have fun with it and do things. And
100 Line gives you the sequel.
Yeah, that's a whole other game. That is an extreme example. I mean, good on them. Another surprise we had was the Untitled John Wick game.
No, they didn't say who it was until the end.
Yeah,
but had no idea who it was.
You could tell who it was pretty damn fast. Little is known about this beyond the cinematic CG trailer with a little bit of potential gameplay mixed in. We have no release date for it. We don't have an official title. But this is coming from Saber Interactive, the same guys who did World War Z. And
so the takedowns are going to be legendary. So
yeah, and Space Marine 2 as well. So immediately we're like, okay, we're getting this. Like, we hope the game is good. The previous John Wick game was not great. It was kind of fun to mess around with. It felt more like a mobile game, so Steven would be in for it.
It was actually ported from mobile.
Right, so Steven, you're already interested.
No, they didn't give me any money, so I didn't get it.
God, it's terrible.
It's delisted now anyway, so.
I think it came out physically on Switch.
Yeah, on Switch and PS5?
I don't remember. I didn't play it much. It was a twin stick shooter, I think. But I want to see more. I want to see more of how the actual control in this one is, because it's so fast for what they're showing. It's going to be really tricky to get those controls right.
Well, none of that was gameplay. Let's just get that straight.
Well, they tried to make some of it look like it might be, but yeah, I agree. I think it was all CG trailers and stuff. Yeah. So,
I mean,
hey, who knows?
I think some of it's like, I think some of that is like an engine, because like I think some of the takedowns and stuff he's doing, like I think that's stuff you will do in the game, like you sneak up behind somebody and like.
I'm just saying the camera angles they use are definitely not. Gameplay.
Oh yeah,
yeah, no, absolutely not. But
and they're not going to hide his face while you play.
Yeah, that's true too. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be third-person cover-based shooter with some like stealth and other things added into it.
I put it out there right away. I said, make this as interactable as Stranglehold, and I'm in 200%.
Oh, being able to like jump and slide over tables and all that.
Well,
stuff. That was a fun game.
You could shoot, and the amount of different ways you could take down people in Stranglehold. I loved that. So,
well, there's probably going to be some.
That with the John Wick.
There's probably going to be some interactivity to it, because I think one of the like. Early on in the trailer, like you see him grab a frying pan and just skull somebody with it, like
yeah.
Which is very John Wick.
Yeah,
we're finally getting the Yakuza engine in other games. We're getting it in Resident Evil 9. If we get it in John Wick, like we're going to be eating.
If I don't get to kill somebody with a motherfucking pencil, I'll be pissed.
Oh God! I thought RE9 was using the RE engine.
No, but you know what I mean. Like they're. Like he can hit people on railings, he can hit people against walls. So I was like,
"Oh, okay."
When I say Yakuza engine, it means context-sensitive environmental takedown.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when you say engine, I'm thinking the actual engine. I was like,
Yeah,
that's
no,
a different
I
company.
don't know what the actual engine is, but when you give me context sensitive, where I can like slam people against different objects, I was like, I'm in.
I can't hear the words context sensitive without thinking of a hungover drunk scarecrow. Just that whole phrase is ruined for me for life. All right. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls coming August 6th in the US, August 7th for New Zealand and other regions. I only included that because, Chase, that means I guess we will get it the same day. They're just literally making you wait until the same day.
Yeah,
the next day for you.
It's technically the same day.
Right. I just thought that was funny, but it's PS5 and PC only still. They added 4 new characters that were introduced. They had Storm with the English voice actor of Mara Junot. Magic is Jesse Valinsky. Danger is Judy Alice Lee, and Wolverine once again being Steve Bloom, coming back with a very recognizable voice that he has almost always had.
Just for anybody holding out, though, when they will always be announcing characters as teams, because it'll be 20 characters total.
Right.
So that means there's at least 2 more teams left. But this is the X-Men. You're not getting any other X-Men.
I was kind of hoping for Colossus, but yeah, that sucks.
So they wanted to make it known, like, this is the X-Men team. Even the developers said that.
They could pull some bullshit, and you could still technically have Beast because he was an Avenger for years. They could pull that shit.
But there is a physical of this as well. So.
Really? I thought it was digital only. Okay.
No, there's a physical standard, but if you want the season pass and all the weird old style costumes, like
I love the old costumes they showed.
If you wanted Golden Age Iron Man, that's in the Ultimate Edition. You have to buy for $100 digitally.
That wasn't the Golden Age. That was the 60s era. Golden Age was the actual gold, like the silver and then the gold armor.
It's the red and yellow color, but it's like the really old, like circle.
Yeah, that's the 1960s release. I used to be a huge Iron Man guy as a kid.
Yeah, that's some of the costumes, but they only showed it in like the Ultimate Editions and stuff. So
okay.
It's either going to be purchased separately, a la Street Fighter, because in those editions you also get the season pass and stuff. So.
Fighting games, I've gotten to the point I kind of just buy them digitally and then hope that they release a more complete physical later and pick that up. Because otherwise, I learned that with Mortal Kombat a long time ago. I just stopped buying Mortal Kombats until the inevitable complete edition comes out. So, I don't know. This game looks really good. So I'm hoping it's actually a fun one.
I played the beta, and for the most part, I really enjoyed it.
Is it as fast as like some of the Marvel vs. Capcoms? Because I think that's kind of the high mark for me, especially MVC2. Like how fast that gets.
Well, because I had Chris play it too. It's kind of a yes and no. It's not going to be as frantic and crazy as Marvel vs. Capcom because you still have to do their engines and stuff because, you know, you don't just die and become the next person. You die, your whole team loses. So
yeah, I'm trying to think what other fighting games did that. Like if you can swap out to every person, but as soon as one of them is finally done, you're done.
But
is there Guilty Gear that did that?
Things and balancing it. But there's a lot of ways you can keep calling in another character to do stuff. So far so good.
Okay.
And it's got a story mode. So I was like, all right.
And I like the art style. I kind of get what they're going for a lot of that. It's definitely drastically different for some of them, but they are giving alternate costumes that kind of fit different art styles, which is great. Like everybody wins at that point. If you want it a certain way, just pick that suit, you know? So it's kind of funny. I just love the fact that old ass comic style 60s Iron Man armor. That's great. Oh man. All right. Next up we had God of War Trilogy remake was announced. No date for this, no content, anything was shown. All we know about is it'll feature full remakes of the first trilogy in the series. We also don't know is this going to be one release with all 3 games, or is it going to be 3 separate releases? Did we see anything about that, or it hinted towards? I thought all 3 in one.
Like TC said, it just got Metroid Prime Forward right now, so it's like, please just wait. It just got started.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when Metroid Prime 4 got the logo, that's all they got. So it's the same thing. Where it's just like, we don't know more yet.
Let's hope this actually releases on PS5 and not something else. They did announce that the original Kratos voice actor, T.C. Carson, is returning to the role. So we're going back to, how he was during the PS2, PS3, and PSP era for those games. I don't know. I enjoyed the original God of Wars. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Those are some of my favorites.
Yeah,
those are the best.
Before they went all Skyrim on me.
Yep.
Because normally when I go back and play these, they did the HD collection. I think it was back on PS3. Did they release that on PS4 as well? I don't remember.
No, PS3 got all the the HDs, and that was it. Yeah.
And PS4, I think I still go back and play those. Go ahead.
PS4 got 3 remastered, I think.
Oh, okay.
You might be right.
Yeah.
If they actually get all 3 of these in there, like I guarantee that's immediately like a must buy. Like that is a good collection of games.
The original 3 is still the superior form of God of War, just hands down. Like,
yes,
the PSP ones were not bad, but I agree.
Yeah.
The first 3 were great.
But the only thing that kind of, I guess, like the only like worrisome thing about it is they calling it a remake. So it's like, what are you remaking? I guess is
like, are you going to treat it like the Resident Evil remakes, where each one's a separate release for 2, 3, and 4? Or, yeah.
Let me ask you this: like, would you want them to go to a more modern camera system, or I kind of want it to still be the pulled back above kind of angled view to get that whole combat with everybody around you?
Yeah, I don't want them to change. Like, I don't want them to try a different engine or really anything like that. I want them to just have that pulled back system. I want it to just be like visceral, like combat.
I want it to be down to the point where you can just switch between the two.
Yeah. I'd even be fine with that.
I want it to be shot for shot that I want you to be able to switch between.
Yeah, like the Halo.
Halo 1 Scotch.
You can swap between the old and new. I'd be fine with that.
That would be neat.
I want to solve puzzles, and I just want to kill shit. Like I like that's what God of War always was.
Just tearing things apart.
Exactly.
You have no children, and you have sex in every episode.
Yep, exactly. There's always like 2 twins that are just ready for you. It's like, I don't know. But go for it.
It's like the quote from Office Space. You know what would you do with $1 million? 2 chicks at once.
Damn right, dude.
He didn't even need $1 million. That's how much of a G Kratos is.
I'm just happy to see TC now.
So yeah. Right. And TC making the announcement too. That was pretty epic.
Because and don't get me wrong, like the more recent God of Wars were actually really fun. They were well made and everything, but I guess they'd kind of wandered off from the style of these older ones, so they're very separate for how they're listed. And I guess they just want to return to it. But speaking of kind of changing some of this stuff, we had God of War Sons of Sparta, which was announced and already released, which, Steven, you've already played it, which we talked about as a 2D side-scrolling action game prequel to the God of War series featuring a young Kratos and his brother. What was his brother's name? I think you said it earlier, Steven. You remember? Demos. Okay. I couldn't remember.
Voiced by the same voice actor who does Robin from Teen Titans.
That's going to be hilarious to hear. We talked about earlier, Santa Monica Studios ended up coming out and admitting that while the trailer showed co-op gameplay, you have to beat the game before you're allowed to actually play a challenge mode that is either single player or local only 2-player co-op. So there's no online co-op for this. And you have to complete the game before that option's there. It came up because the listing on the store shows 2 players. And everyone's like, what do you mean we can't pick 2 people? And they had to tell them before they finished the game.
Yeah, so I will elaborate a little bit more on the game. It is a Metroidvania.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because there's tons of items and stuff you get that you have to then backtrack and use your new ability, switch between the abilities. You get like a imbued head that can open certain doors with a ray, and then you get like a sling that you use to hit things to open elevators and doors and stuff like that. And there's a lot of places that I found that I was like, I have to go back here. I have to come back here. It uses the blood orbs a lot to either tell you everything in the level you're in, like that you can unlock and find, and also you use the blood orbs to learn new abilities. Because right now the combat's kind of not free flowing like you'd get in the previous old school God of Wars or Metroidvanias and stuff like that. It's very stiff right now because he's still just a kid with a spear and a shield, so I can't do much. There is parrying, there is blocking, there is dodging. It's not like Dark Souls is, so I don't have to worry. They do the color system that ZZZ does in a way where it says, hey, if it's blue, you can only block, but if it's red, you can only evade. So learn that when you're fighting bosses. So that's not bad. The pixel art is beautiful. You can see him breathing, looking up and down.
It looked amazing from the little bit I saw.
It did very well there. What's really unique in the beginning, which they embraced one side more than the other, because when you hover over the game installed on your system, it plays like an 8-bit version of some kind of God of War theme, and it sounds amazing. But then when you play the game, that same theme is in there, but it's hidden in the background while the instrumental is playing. So you can hear little snippets of 8-bit in the back. And I was like, give me a unlockable. I'll do it just to get full 8-bit music on there.
It's part of New Game Plus.
But there's tons of stuff to find. They do the Castlevania thing that as soon as you defeat an enemy, it goes in the lore so you can read about it.
Oh, nice.
Every new location goes in the lore so you can read about it. So every item is the lore, you can read about it. So it's literally you're building your encyclopedia while you go. And
Checklist.
it even does the, hey, if you want this objective, kill this bird 400 times and we'll give you some blood orbs as a bonus.
Holy
so it
crap.
keeps track of how many times you've killed every single enemy or how many pots you've broken. Because if I break 300 pots, I get an objective. So I'm like, okay.
That's nuts. How much was it? I didn't look it up.
Same price as Tokyo Scramble.
Oh, okay, so worthless. Got it.
It's $30, but they have a digital deluxe if you want some items and some avatars as extras, but it's nothing to write home about in terms of the extra $10.
Yeah. Wonder if this will ever get an actual physical release. Probably not, but
I'd like it to, but yeah.
It would be nice. I mean, like I said, the game does look absolutely amazing. It's good to hear, though. I'll have to look into it and see about, because I don't turn on my PlayStation that much, but there's a couple games that I think we're kind of intrigued by this. But speaking of which, to finish this off, let's go ahead and go around the table and give our letter grade for this state of play. What we liked, what we didn't like, things like that, real quick, as we finish up the news. Chris, I know you've been kind of quiet for a little while, so let's start with you.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I give it a B for the stuff that was not on PlayStation.
Okay. Steven, what about you?
If I could give it a number, I would have given it a 3 for third person because almost every game shown was third person. Which I was like, what is going on with third person? But overall, I think because there was a handful of games, whether I get it on PlayStation or not, that I was excited to see, I'm going to give it a B as well.
Okay. Chase, what about you?
I'm giving this an A plus.
Nice.
Plus.
Wow.
This
Okay.
was a tier ranking. It'd be an S tier. Like, this was like fucking most Sony, like most of the times whenever someone's like, hey, there's a new state of play coming, I'm like, oh great, this is gonna be shit. Or whatever.
This was not a state of decay.
Yeah, this wasn't state of dismay, this wasn't state of decay, this wasn't whatever like funny pun we usually come up with. This was actually a state of play. This was, I mean, I got God of War, I got Shinobi, I got MGS4, I like the list goes on and on. Castlevania.
What's the state of yay?
Yeah, this was actually like really, really good, and Sony hadn't had one of these like really, really good ones in a while. So I give them props where I can.
And they didn't end on Todd Howard, so that was fun.
Yeah, thankfully.
For me, I've never been like the biggest PlayStation guy for a lot of the stuff, but even I have to admit, like I give it an A on this one because I agree the God of Wars had me very interested. Almost everything Konami showed off for that Silent Hill caught my attention. The Castlevania stuff looks absolutely amazing. A couple of different games I'm actually curious to try, mostly probably the PC releases of them, but still interested to at least play them and give them a shot. There's even a couple that kind of interested me to get PlayStation Online again so we can possibly play them if it comes down to that. And then, they had the balls to put out a rooster guy that's just killing everything. Caught me by surprise for that. So, yeah, damn good showing from Sony. We finally got a good state of play. Good on them for that, which means we'll probably end up getting a Nintendo Direct later, and we'll see how that one goes. All right, so let's... Oh, go ahead.
It's gonna get an S.
All right, so let's go over to the speedrun. So real quick, Kingdom Come Deliverance is now available on PS5 and Xbox Series systems as a free upgrade for existing owners with save transfer included. The game has sold over 11 million copies to date, which that's impressive.
Really good RPG, guys. Give it a shot.
I know. Unfortunately, I have the Switch version.
I think I do too.
I have the Switch Gold version, so I don't get an upgrade yet. I gotta wait.
Interesting. Next up, we had Stern Pinball Company is releasing a Pokemon pinball machine, and I'm kind of hoping our local pinball hall that we have here will get one, because Stern does make some really good actual tables they've released recently.
Yeah, they showed it off now. It looks and plays amazing. So I was like,
I'm hoping for it. Steven's happy because the first popcorn bucket for the upcoming Super Mario Galaxy movie is leaked, and it's Yoshi. Bonus points will be given if Yoshi is the bucket and the egg is somehow holding the drink. I would love that.
It will be mine, just like the entire Old Spice collection and the cereal.
This doesn't feel as weird about you buying all of it and hoarding it. Now, I'm concerned for you if they release all the different colors of Yoshis. There'd be so many freaking Yoshis. And lastly, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight developers have shrunk the required RAM needed from 32 gigs to 16 gigs for it to run properly because of the increased cost and harder to get and limited supply thanks to AI slop bubble that we're currently in. So we're probably going to see a trend of more companies doing this to kind of limit to more existing hardware that people have for game development. And yeah, we'll see where that ends up going. But it's kind of an interesting little bit.
And I can tell you right now, especially what you put in Discord, is Switch 2 is probably just like good.
Yeah, Switch 2 is in the perfect spot because they're basically already, like Xbox One early, like Series S level, PS4, some PS5, like it's right there in that sweet spot. So while PS5, Series X, and everything are still continuing for a while because the next systems are going to become prohibitively expensive, and new hardware for PC is basically pointless. Like just upgrading the RAM in my laptop now costs me more than my entire laptop cost me, which is stupid. So the Switch 2 and even the Series S is kind of in a good spot to take that little spot and enjoy more content. All right, so let's go over to the big question for tonight. So I was wanting to know, in an ever-growing sea of multiplayer and online co-op titles, what does it take now for one to stick out to you to even give it a chance, attention, or most importantly, money? And ironically, I thought of this after watching the stuff for Loop, and it was like, it kind of surprised me. Yeah, so Swan, what does it take to get you to finally, like, what do you want to get into one of these co-op games?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you right off the bat, Ubisoft has taught me a lot of what I want out of my co-op.
Okay.
And that is progression should be tied together. The fact that when once Chase got kicked out, he lost all of his items he got. So having that cross progression lost, there was none. The fact that if you play co-op, it shouldn't be kind of shoehorned in, like actually make that person there too, like in the cutscenes, not just, hey, he's just another guy playing with you. So like make it part of the experience, because that's what some of the best games are known for, like Army of Two. Even what was that game that they made for PS3 and 360? The only one that, not Naughty Dog, that Sucker Punch made. What was that one called? Fuse? No.
Yeah, I don't think it was Fuse. Maybe it was...
No, Fuse was published by EA, but I can't remember who made it. It was I think it was the last game that the company made too.
Okay, but yeah, little things like that is very important. Another thing is please disclose whether or not we have to unlock multiplayer online co-op. It's one thing to play through tutorial, I understand that, but in order for me to be like, oh, you have to play to this part of the game, don't do that unless you're going to disclose it on the box, saying, because I've had because a very important site I still use to this day is Co-Optimus, optimist, because it tells you whether the co-op is actually story-based, mission-based, so you know what you're getting into when you buy it with your friends. I've gotten burned too many times to be like, oh, it's co-op, guys, but then it's just you play 3 to 5 missions and you're done. There's nothing more about it to enjoy. And just like that, with the board, even with like stuff like Borderlands, each person having a specific specialty and not being able to learn anybody else's specialty, so you have to pick that class, kind of Diablo-esque, is very good too. I just want to feel like you have to work together, not that they're just more bodies in the lobby type of thing. So,
and I'm guessing you're not counting stuff like if it's like some games you started and it's like, okay, here's like an introduction training area you have to go through, which like even Helldivers made you do that. You had to get through that before you could get into the game.
That's fine, because that was kind of getting you what the tone of the game was even going to be. So it was nice. They just didn't tell us Jason Momoa is going to be in a movie about it, but
forgot to put that in there. Yeah.
But other than that, like, yeah, those are the biggest things, because I don't want you to shoehorn too many what do you call it, DLC in there, unless it's cosmetic. Cosmetic's okay, but don't make it pay to win, because that I think is a hindrance to your games, especially if you're playing co-op or if you're playing teams. Overwatch now is getting popular because they're having you pick a side. Do you want to go join Talon or do you want to join Team Overwatch? So it's cool that they're doing that you get different characters that way. So they're going to give you 10 new characters this year. So I was like, you guys, now that you got rid of your original guy who didn't know what he was doing, you're making it more story based. You're making it lore. You're doing it right for something that, even if I'm playing with randos, which I don't really like to do because it just reminds me of high school. We play to win, and if we lose, we didn't have fun, type stuff. It's little things like that. I don't know. Sometimes it's very important on the community. Community will sometimes allow me to give it a chance, attention, or most importantly, money. Because a part of me is like intrigued with something like Arc Raiders, because the community is just so unique, where they're just not out for kills, they're not out for loot, they're just out for the experience. So I was like, that sounds kind of, pretty cool. Same thing if I ever get to play it. Fun fact, I've never played Grand Theft Auto 5. I would love to play the multiplayer co-op of that, because it looks amazing.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Like, being able to do the heist is so much fun.
Yeah, it sounds like the heists are amazing, because there used to be games on PS2, and especially Ubisoft, Splinter Cell, that some of the stealth games out there are like bar none the most amazing things to play. That's why I like Sniper Elite. Sniper Elite just has the issue right now where you're just one guy. So even with Chase walking around shooting people, and Jeremy shooting people in the knee and then the head, they don't ever show that. They don't ever show that guy. That person's just an entity. And I'm like, this game would be like perfect for me if they were just like part of the story. And I'm not asking everything to be a Haze-like game at all. That's just what has worked for some of them, because it's like you need two people.
All right.
But lastly, For Loop will not get my money. Okay.
Lord. Chris, what about you? I know that you said you don't play as multiplayer as much, but I was kind of curious if you had any thoughts on this at all.
Usually, for me to play a co-op game, it has to have a clear beginning and end in terms of story. It has to... Usually, I skew toward 2D brawlers, like Streets of Rage, like Scott Pilgrim EX, like Absalom, that kind of thing. If every single character has their own specific story that they can play through, even better. Because Absalom had each character with their own side quests and their own dialogue with other specific characters. Essentially, if a game is not meant to be played more than once the game is done, then I'll play co-op, because then it feels real.
Okay. Chase, what about you?
Yeah, so I guess for me, the way to get my attention with co-op is to say that it's co-op. Like, because one of the first things, like, the Shinobi game, when at State of Play, first thing when I saw 4 people, I'm like, is this co-op? It's the first question I ask. because to me, it's just like co-op just tends to make a lot of these games better, more fun. Like co-op has this really innate ability for me to just even make a bad game fun. Damnation. Swan and I played that game. It's a terrible game.
Pepe!
Don't recommend it for anybody, but like us playing through that game together was, we made it fun.
Yeah, Steven warned me off from buying it because he's like, yeah, you can have fun in co-op, but neither of us want to do that again.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't put that evil on anybody. But as far as like important things, yeah, I agree. Cross progression is definitely like, or having like a both of you having progression at the same time is nice. I'm looking at you, Far Cry. I don't understand how Far Cry doesn't have like where both players get progression.
How many are we up to?
Yeah, like what, 6 now? And then like, but somehow in the same publishing house, Ghost Recon could make co-op where both people's games progressed. So I don't understand how that worked. But for me, co-op is just like, it's always been kind of like I'll tend to pay more for a co-op game than I will for just like, if it's a single player, like I'm going to play by myself. Sometimes I'm like, I'll wait till it goes on sale, or I'll just, pick it up later. But if it's like, but I'm usually like, I'll message Swan or you guys and be like, hey, or like, are we diving? Because then I'll be like, sweet, I'm getting this because I know I'm going to have fun. So like, I'm super happy to pay.
It's definitely a perk when you see that.
Oh yeah,
in the announcement trailer or on the box.
That's why like I paid full price for Helldivers, and I never at once did I feel bad about that purchase, because I knew that we were just going to have a lot of fun and do goofy shit and blow each other up. And I don't know, just there's a as the French term is je ne sais quoi to co-op. Like there's just, I don't know what, it's just has that thing that just makes it better, makes the experience better.
Nice. So for me with co-op, if it's actual just like multiplayer, like it needs to have some kind of draw where it's not, because a lot of the shooters that are out now and things like that have become so homogenous for what they're trying to do, where you could see part of the trailer for one of them and you have to take a second if you didn't know what the name was. Okay, this could be this other shooter or that one. And just find a way to make that creative and be fun about it. And I know Steven was giving a shit about 4 Loop, but part of what I actually did like is the fact that it was trying different things. It's trying different mechanics that I'm not seeing in other shooters, and something I was like, hey, this could be fun for, 4 of us to actually get to play together and play. And that's one thing I look forward to every week, is like at least the 3 of us, because, Chris goes to bed after this. Plus, he's not a big into multiplayer, which I get. But, we still play some kind of co-op or type of game, be Helldivers, Sniper Elite, World War Z, things like that we're always trying. And even if it's a game we end up not liking, we at least give it a shot and have a laugh, which is fine. I don't feel so bad buying a game and be like, oh, we didn't end up liking it, but we did at least have fun trying to mess around with it a few times. That makes it worth it for me. But I wish more games would have cross progression, not in the fact of like 2 of us playing, but like Helldivers 2, I bought it twice and I have to start over on the other one. And it kind of sucks doing that. Like, I get it. I'll buy some of the kits to get if it was cosmetic, but they kind of wandered into we're locking weapons and items and things behind it. So now, I have to rebuy those to get it. But even just my rank or something, let me have XP carry over, because just too much shit builds up. But like I said, other than the creativity has to be there. It's got to be something a little bit different for each one, because I don't mind playing multiple multiplayer games, but I want them to be unique. I don't want them all being the same thing every single time. Be it a sniping game or, we're surviving zombies or building up a town trying to survive in a zombie apocalypse. That was a lot of fun doing that. And that's kind of a tricky thing. But like for co-op stuff, I agree there needs to be differences in the story, and I really like the ones that have a separate single player mode and then co-op mode, because that can drastically change how the game is. For what was the one that you and I were playing, Steven, with you kept seeing balloons at the party? I'm blanking on the name all of a sudden.
Dead Space 3?
Dead Space, yeah. People gave Dead Space 3 a lot of crap, but the co-op made a whole other aspect to it that made it more fun. And eventually I would like to go play so I can play that side of it and see all the crazy birthday stuff that you saw, where you're talking about like, oh, these kids are running around, there's balloons and they're dead. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, that's intriguing to me. That's fun. That's original, And even like Redfall's another one that could have been fun. You and I had fun doing it, but like you didn't carry over progression for what you unlocked, which completely killed it. I think you and I would have kept playing it if it wasn't for that.
Because it opened up another map, but then it was like, but you don't have all this stuff. And I was like, what?
Yeah, because the game was not great, but we were having fun. But that progression issue is what kind of stalled us out on it, because we're like, hey, we worked all the way through this. We don't want to have to do it again just to get you caught up, And I think that
game was our damnation.
But I had fun with it. We're not going back to it, though. I think we just uninstalled it. We're like, we're done.
That's what I mean by damnation. It was a lot of fun, but if Chase is like, you want to play Redfall? I'm like, no.
I have to reinstall it. I cleared space. So that's part of why I'm like looking forward to at least seeing where 4Loop goes, because I'm seeing some kind of glimmer of some creativity, some difference to try and see what happens with that. And that's what I'm excited for, is to see things like that and see where it goes. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for that. So we'll go ahead and end it. Oh, a bit of a longer episode than I thought it would be, just talking about a state of play, since Sony actually got it right this time. For once, we had things to talk about. But once again, if you're enjoying the show, please leave us a like on the video. That always helps us out a lot. Leave us a review if you're listening to the audio podcast of your choice, wherever you get that. Subscribe to the channel. That helps us out as well with the algorithm. Leave us a comment. Let us know what the rules for what you want to have in your multiplayer or co-op online titles, for those kind of requirements, or what you thought of the state of play, your favorite games, your least favorite. What about the titles we didn't cover? Because there was some anime stuff we just completely bypassed. But yeah, like I said, it's a weekly show that we do. Feel free to find us over on our Discord, which you can find everything over at Zenspath.com, to talk to us directly over there, or find our socials and other things that we have that. But I've been your host, Jeremy Powers, joined once again by Stephen, Chase, and Chris. It's been episode 208, and we're out. Peace. That's so wrong. This has been a production of the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast by the staff at Zenspath.com. The show is created and edited by Jeremy Powers. You can find the video edition of the show on our YouTube channel at ZenspathCom. The audio edition is located wherever you find your podcasts. Links to all versions of the show, as well as to our Discord where you can talk with us directly, is located at www.zenspath.com. Please leave us a like, thumbs up, comment, and review where you can to help us grow.